Mic check. Microphone checker, microphone checker. Top of the top. Top of the TOP, top of the Mid Morning Podcast with your boy, Perfect Timing Podcast with the blast real fast. The last show of 2024. How's everybody doing, man? Come on now. The last show of 2024. Yeah, man, we're going to do 2024 miscalculations, man. I got me some, I normally do the T, but it's the end of the season, so around this time of year, I do the hot apple cider. I don't really do Starbucks, but my baby, she do Starbucks, and cause she be spending on my money, she be like, "You don't want nothing from Starbucks?" I'm like, "Nah," but this time of year, cause I don't drink coffee, I drink tea, and I ain't paying $5 for a cup of tea. So the one thing I'll get. And I seen a homie, he was drinking a chai tea latte. So I tried the chai tea latte, but it reminded me too much of horchata, and I'm not an horchata fan. I don't have nothing against horchata, but I don't drink milk. You know what I'm saying? You know, we lactose intolerant. I used to love milk and cereal and all that shit, but I don't drink milk. And then, I'll be on my health kick, working out, and when you work out, I still eat bad, man. I've been eating bad. But when you work out, you don't want to eat bad, so because it's a waste of your workout. And my research was saying don't eat the cereal, and I was hella disappointed because I tried to, I was vegan when Bubba was born, so I tried to stay away from the meat, and I would just, cereal, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I was born in that era, 80s baby. We had, peanut butter and syrup, peanut butter and jelly. That's good eating, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. That I try to stick with that. But how's everybody doing? The last show of 2024. And our 2 minutes is up, man. The 2 minutes is up. We could get with the razzle dazzle now. The 2 minutes is up, man. YouTube be acting how they be acting. You know what I'm saying? Am I added to the show? It says I'm added to the show. All right, I'm added to the show. I got my banner up and everything up. I've been watching YouTube this morning. Everybody, y'all been watching YouTube this morning. I don't know. I don't know. It's a cat fest. It's a catastrophe this morning. You know what I'm saying? There's a bunch of cats out here, YouTube land this morning, man. I've been watching a bunch of J cats, man. So I can't really chime in. You know what I'm saying, on the J cats. You know what I'm saying, because I just go. I got respect. You know what I'm saying, but it's like, it's a lot of cat shit going on today on YouTube. And the thing is, bro, okay, look, I get it, right? For the motherfuckers that's catting off today, because this one thing somebody said was it people I look up to. I look up to men who accomplish goals. You know what I'm saying? So I was looking at Method Man, LL Cool J, Will Smith. These men I really regard because they be in the gym, they lift weights, and it's not easy to be in the gym, keep your body right, eat right, maintain this diet and everything. So it's like he was talking, I don't know if it was 50, but these brothers who be in the gym and maintain a diet. And he was saying, if you thinking you about to do this lifestyle with the eating right and the lifting weights, and then he changed it. And he said, if you think you about to do anything different, and you think you're gonna do it tomorrow, it doesn't work that way. So when I see these individuals catting off on New Year's Eve 2024, it makes sense to me, because I would think you would hope everything I talked about, the Black manosphere and Black men on YouTube, content creators, and the very important issues that I brought to bear, that these individuals would take heed and what are some of the terms we talked about recently? Politically advantageous, you know what I'm saying? Understanding the meaning of that, understanding whiteness, you know what I'm saying? Understanding a couple other phrases that's gonna come to my mind. But this is what the homie said. The homie said, if you plan on making a change and you think tomorrow you could just change, like stop smoking, no, everything you did in that direction, everything you did in the wrong way. So if you were going 90 miles an hour and you went 1,000 miles the wrong way, then in order just to break even, you got to go 90 miles per hour for 1,000 miles in the right direction. And it was somebody who's overweight, somebody who has an addiction. That's a crushing understanding to have. I mean, it's truly crushing, because the reality of something is what make people stay in their affliction, stay in their station, stay a J-Cat. You understand? Stay a sucker, you know what I'm saying? Stay a simp, keep their cape on, because in order to not, I mean, imagine a sucker, man. Imagine a cape, imagine a simp who whose life, who hears the things I say, but whose life is immersed in the matriarchy and simplified, right? He would have to leave his wife. He would have to leave his home, his job, his kids. This is why they come on YouTube and they are so staunch defenders of the matriarchy, because they hear what we say. They know it's true, but in order for them to change, they're not willing to do 90 miles per hour and 1,000 miles in the right direction just to break even. You're not even going to catch up with me. You're just going to be at the starting point, and they know this. So that keep them simping, bro. And not only keep it simping, but they defend. These are simp warriors. You know what I'm saying? These are simp warriors, bro. So a lot of y'all might be like, well, why do they defend such bad behavior so staunchly? It's because of what they have built and what it would, like Travis Hunter. It's so much invested in this woman. All of us, for us, it's easy. But those of us who've been a simp before, who had your cape on, you know when you there and you know you made it. I'm taking off my socks and shoes. You know when you've been a simp before and you finally wake up, because the woman is so cruel. When you with a woman who don't love you and like you, you really learn the truth about female nature. And what y'all need to know about the simp and people like Travis Hunter, he knows what we're telling him. We haven't even had this talk yet. We're talking about 2024 miscalculations. Do y'all know? And I don't think enough men be honest about when they were a simp, when they got played. I'm going to go to a story after this intro about Brittany Renner. A lot of people don't be honest about when they was a simp and when they got played and when it really hit you, because that woman is more honest than the men on YouTube. Let me give you some props. Yeah, man, women, what did Young Thug say? That's my twin. She more P than most of these men out here. Women are more honest than men. So if y'all think for 1 second that Travis Hunter is not getting talked to like a dog and not getting told, I never liked you, your dick is little, and all this shit. No, he is with that woman. But you cannot articulate it unless you ever been with that woman. I've been with that woman. I've been Travis Hunter. A lot of the men like think about Bow Wow and fucking your girl in my Gucci flip. Think about the things that people have been through. People say they want to listen to Bow Wow. I would listen to Bow Wow, because those of you who don't understand the miscalculation. Remember I said painting yourself into a corner? The miscalculation and painting yourself into a corner. People, so imagine painting. It's not easy. I told you, you can't paint yourself out of that corner. That's absolutely true. But is it easy? No. And a lot of people, because it's so difficult, they choose to stay in the corner. And that's kind of fucked up. And there's a lot of people you see in life relegated to a certain position, but we never analyze the fact that, unless you're wise enough to understand that I've been there before, that they relegated themselves. That's the whole victim thing. When people come on and claim victim because they happen to be in a certain station. But those of us who understand wisdom understand that you relegated yourself to that station, and you have the ability, because you're a God-given human being with God-given qualities, to paint yourself out of that corner. but you stay in it because there's a mortgage, there's a car loan, there's children, and you are being in a situation. This is what a Black manosphere became about, because there's so many Black men, and not just Black men, men, period. That's why it was the manosphere beginning, but the white boys broke off. But there are so many men being abused in relationships and marriages, right? And that's why this thing caught on like fire, because so many men heard truths and like, hey, wait a minute. I thought I wasn't being appreciated. I thought I wasn't being loved, but until certain wisdom, thought-provoking providers on this channel said, hey, brother, you're having trouble in your relationship because you have an issue with identifying love. You have that issue because of your childhood trauma, because your mother, all of us with these single parent homes, our mothers were fixated on survival and did not provide us that agape love that we need so that we could ascertain what love is later on in life. So we get with women who resemble our mothers. We hold up our matriarchy. We say, oh, I need a strong Black. We want a female funk. We justify the obesity. We justify the ignorance. She got to have a little, she got to be a little fast. She got to be, that's ignorance. You understand? She got to be thick. We justify the obesity. We don't understand how the matriarchy works as Black men. We've been trained into this matriarchal view. So we justify the obesity by calling them thick. We justify the poor behavior by saying she's sassy. We justify the poor hygiene by saying it's female funk and we like the smell. Y'all don't remember the female. So we justify all of these attributes. That's just a hindrance to us. And then we reanimate the matriarchy. That it's our fault. We can, and then when we come on here and we say, you know what, brother, it's unhealthy for these women to be obese. It's unhealthy for them to smell in their box to smell that way. They need to change their diet. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have all this cystic fibrosis and fibroids in our community. It's because of the diet. We can't talk about that. You know, it's unhealthy for women to carry themselves. Monique tried to talk about sisters in the airport and got canceled. So the matriarchy, what we do, what did Black men do in Monique? I saw men wearing bonnets. Wiz Khalifa put on the bonnet to support the men. He doesn't think he's supporting the matriarchy. In his head, he's supporting Black women. So I'm going to put on a bonnet. But this is an elder woman. She got 20 years on you, Wiz. Nobody gave Monique her wisdom. No one respected the wisdom and how long she's been on the planet. What she been through in Hollywood as a Black woman, how she has seen this light, has she seen racism up close and up front, how she's seen racism from Black people. Racism is so bad in America that Blacks are racist against Blacks. She's seen this. So with her wisdom, with her age, with her stripes, she came to the internet and said, hey, baby girl, because it affects her. She's like, I'm making deals. She might have been in the airport with a producer. She might have been in the airport with a white producer. And that white producer said, hey, Monique, we're going to do a movie. And then here come these Black women who resemble Monique. Hey, Mama Mo. And they look and smell like atrocious garbage. And it affects Monique as she's having her business meeting impromptu in the Chicago O'Hare Airport. And so it behooved her. Now, Black men have been talking about this on YouTube for the past umpteen years, but until it affected Monique personally, then it behooved her to say something because she's in the airport and she's being embarrassed. See how they personalize stuff? But if they just would have cared about the overall people, then I think Monique would have had a better opportunity. But Monique talked about it when it affected her. Hey, baby girl, I'm in the airport. I'm seeing this. What she should have said is, I'm embarrassed. I was having a business meeting, some player shit, and y'all came through with y'all nappy, funky asses and embarrassed me. Do you know when you dress and carry yourself that way, it affects the entire image of Black women? Now, Mexican women understand this. Asian women understand this. I work in healthcare IT. Nurses, phlebotomists, you know, they get it. They always pull me to the side. They get this thing. Even if they don't like another Asian woman or another Latino woman, they check each other. If they don't know each other, they understand. There's a joke by a comedian that I love, Shang Wang. And Shang Wang talk about being in the airport and eating tuna fish. And he said, I was worried. This is a joke. I was worried about eating tuna fish in the airport because somebody might see me and say, they all do that. Chinese people think consciously like this. But he made a joke about it, and it was funny because we all know Chinese people. We have Chinese friends, and we know that they're conscious about these things. So Shang Wang, a Chinese comic, can make a joke about a Chinese reality, that Chinese people are conscious of the things they do in public because they know they are seen as a monolith. So he made a joke about it. If I eat this tuna fish in the airport, they're going to think all Chinese people eat cat food. Right? That was the joke. And it was funny because we do that. Americans do that. The joke, he's a #1 comedian. He just got an Apple commercial. #1 Netflix special. The joke is funny because we do that. They all do that. That's why the joke is funny. So Monique had to point out the fact that, hey, when you guys behave in this way, they think we all do that. Come on now. They think we all do that. So Monique, who's in the airport, first class, handling business, affected by your behavior, came on YouTube and said, hey, please don't behave in this way. And what did the black men do? Put on a bonnet. Justify the matriarchy. Justify the obesity. Justify the poor hygiene. Justify the bad behavior. Black men put on bonnets. You know what happened after that? They capitalized off our ignorance. And we talking about this because we talking about the cat shit that's going on YouTube today. It's some J-Cat shit going on today. And if y'all wondering why the J-Cat, this shit's supposed to be dead. We're going into 2025. You know what this tells me? That this ignorant shit, where we have no political power, where an Indian immigrant like Vivek is in the cabinet and there's no Negroes in the cabinet, it's just gonna keep being like that. Because what Negroes want to do is J-Cat shit. Negroes don't want to be politically advantageous. So when I see these niggas up here doing old school manosphere shit on New Year's Eve, I say, okay, 2025 ain't gonna be no different. You know what I'm saying? This is why I have issues with doing YouTube. Look at everything I've invested in my studio, everything, and I don't get the views. I don't get none of that shit. And what I realized today is niggas, I said this about Nipsey Hussle, niggas don't deserve a king. Niggas deserve what they get. It's kind of like your single mother would tell you, niggas deserve what they get. Whatever you have, and it used to hurt. Because as a child, I felt like I'm not empowered to give myself something different. That's why I was a hustler. That's why at 12 years old, I had a job. I jumped off the porch. I needed my own McDonald's money. I wasn't gonna let no black single mom pick on me, talk shit to me, not buy me shoes, say your daddy should have sent you money for shoes. I didn't have none of that. I jumped off the porch. I'm stealing cars. I'm stealing and selling and robbing every motherfucking thing in the motherfucking streets. God damn it, at 12 years old, because my single mama ain't gonna pick on me, and ain't no black bitch in the ghetto gonna talk shit about my shoes. I jumped off the porch at 12 because they'll do that to you. They'll deprive you and tell you it's your fault. And these niggas out here playing on some old school manosphere shit. And it's 2025. Trump won. Hey, blood, this liberal shit for the past, hey, it really affected niggas, man. Charleston White then bought a diamond police badge. So when you see that nigga over there kowtowing to the Matrix, anybody who would have Bomb Cherry on their panel, any other black man who is on that panel, I mean, I'm not even going to say anything negative. I just got to say that one name. Anybody who would appear on a panel with Bomb Cherry, intellectually, I wouldn't even, yesterday I said, I can't even get angry at you. You are so intellectually inferior, I feel sorry for you. And that's why I don't like the J-Cat shit today, because I have high respect for Angry Man. Angry Man has taught so much shit in this space. When I talk about the Son Husband, and I got my short on the Son Husband up right now, and it's sad, the comments is sad on how many people are wooed by the matriarchy. male and female. I see men defending Travis Hunter purchasing a married woman a home, a son, husband. His mother is married. He hasn't cashed. I know he got a $20 million deal. That doesn't matter. It's not real money. Look at what Adidas did to Kanye. He doesn't have $20 million in the bank. What did Deion Sanders and Shaquille O'Neal tell you about those $100 million contracts? Deion Sanders said, yeah, I signed a $100 million contract, but it doesn't matter. It's only what matters is what you get up front. So he got like 17 million from the Niners. He might have got 20 million or 17 million from the Falcons. That's the money that Deion got. The 100 million was for the newspapers. So when you say Travis Hunter got a $20 million deal, you gotta have to show me his bank receipt where he got 20 million in the bank. But I know with Adidas, he signed a 20 million. He might have got 2-3 million up front. The 20 million is based on actual sales and revenue. If your shoe is popular, if you go to the bowl, if you win the Heisman, if you go to the playoffs, then we pay you this extra money because we sell more Adidas. That's how you get up to 20 million. There's an incentive-based deal. It's not just $20 million across the board. So Travis Hunter buys his mama a house and he don't have one NFL check. He already stressing out. He didn't quit Instagram. He did not flown on the plane. How would you feel if you were prepared? Like I talked to you, Deshaun Watson is relevant. This is 2024. We're going over all 2024. Deshaun Watson is relevant because the Tony Busby, racist white boy lawyer who going after Jay-Z and Diddy, he tried to go after Deshaun Watson when Deshaun Watson left that Texas football team and got his $275 million from motherfucking the Cleveland Browns. Tony Busby has 60 people ready to lie on Deshaun Watson. Right now, he got 120 on Diddy, and everybody thinks we calling him racist. He is racist. He uses racist tactics just like Fannie Willis and D.A. Miss Love. Tony Busby ain't no different. There's a bunch of racist lawyers out there who we need reparations because they skirt the goddamn law. Now, Deshaun Watson got $275 million. Old boy from the Celtics got $300 million. How would you feel if you were a football team? We just saw the Lions. I'm a Frisco fan. The Lions just whooped their ass last night. I said, where did the Lions get this from? They got a female owner. This is the end of this shit. I'm so glad Trump won, bro. God bless Trump. God bless his family. I pray a covering over Trump, and I pray he is safe, and I pray he has a profitable, successful presidency because that's beneficial for the black man. Shout out to Trump. How would you feel if you were an NFL team and you were prepared to give Travis Hunter over $100 million? Now, the thing about Tony Busby and the Deshaun Watson lawsuit is that this is what made it so relevant to this case. This was the first NFL contract. Now, remember what I just taught you about the $20 million in Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders got $100 million, what, 10, 15 years ago? I think the contract was $125 million. Somebody put it in the chat. I'm not going to look it up. Deion said, it ain't about that. It's about how much you signed for. What was different, and then you had, MLB is the baseball, the white boys, and they get paid differently. Drake got the $400 million. That's because the white boys in baseball is getting their money. They're not getting these incentives. They're getting the $300 million. They're getting the $400 million. They're getting the $200 million. They got $200 million in the bank. The reason why NFL players be broke is because the way it's designed. Like Deion Sanders said, black men don't get the money. You hear about these contracts, but black men don't get the money, right? What was different about Deshaun Watson, and we don't talk about it because it's not, like I said, there's not enough camaraderie amongst black men. We do this J-Cat shit that you see on YouTube this morning. The difference about Deshaun was he got the money. He got $275 million. He got it guaranteed, 100%. That's never happened in football. It was a brand new owner. It was a young, brand new owner at the Cleveland Browns. See, the old school NFL owners are racist white men. Last night, as we watched the football game, my wife was saying, why do quarterbacks look like that? Now, she know I like Shane Gillis. Shane Gillis is one of my favorite comedians. He got a joke about Alabama Roll Tide and Alabama football being racist. Alabama was the last college football team to go from all white. And they kept their team all white until the late 70s, until they got beat by UCLA, and then they got black players, and then it was Roll Tide. And then he makes a joke about Alabama having white corners, and he laughing. He said they had white corners. He said there are no white corners in the NFL right now. I.e., there are no white men fast enough to catch a black man. That's the joke. Shane Gillis is saying there are no white men fast enough to catch black men. Football wouldn't be entertaining to watch if there were white corners. This is a joke. Shane Gillis is one of the #1 comedians in the country with this racist joke. There are no white corners in the NFL. He said, sometimes I watch the NFL and I see a white guy catch the ball and I get excited and say, go, go, go. And then he said, oh, wait a minute, they got him. And I told my wife, she laughs at that joke. I said, do you know what Shane Gillis means when he says they got him? Does anybody know what? When Shane Gillis is saying, I'm white, so I root for the white guy when he catches the ball. Who's the white boy on San Francisco? Kelsey? Oh, that boy, long hair. We always had a white boy like that in San Francisco, man. Shane Gillis said, I root for the white boy when he catches the ball. And then he said, oh, they got him. I said to my wife, who's the they? When Shane Gillis, this is a nigger joke. It's a racist joke. No one has ever called Shane Gillis on it. The they is you. So my wife is like, so there's no white corner. She knows this joke. I've explained the they to her about this joke. So she's looking at the football game and she sees the quarterbacks are both these blonde-haired, blue-eyed, Aryan, certain look like Montana, look like Aaron Rodgers. And she's like, this a white woman. My wife is not black. And she's looking at it and she like, why do quarterbacks look this way? It's so objective. She don't got no fight, no horse in the fight. You know what I'm saying? She just say, however, about why do the quarterbacks look this way? All the players are black. There are no white corners. What? And the same question black men have, why all the coaches look this way? Somebody in the chat, I'm listening, I got Tracy. Remember we talked about the Bradley rule? Whatever happened with that class action lawsuit? We going over 2024 miscalculations. What happened with that class action lawsuit? As we look at the Shanahan child, nepotism, who's coaching the 49ers, why we don't have a black coach on the 49ers? What's happened with that class action where they were lying, paying black coaches to lose? And then they had this rule where all they had to do was interview a black coach, and then they met the criteria for being multicultural. This was our issue with Jay-Z a year ago. Jay-Z skirted that. Jay-Z, this is what I said about Drake. Jay-Z never commented on the Bradley rule and this class action lawsuit and the fact that these NFL owners had colluded. Now, where is the RICO? Look, come on, y'all. Come on. My name is Perfect Time Podcast. This is from the OG perspective. We doing the 2024 weave. This is a big ass weave. So where's the RICO for the NFL coaches, the NFL owners? Because this is what's happening with Diddy and Jay-Z. There's a civil lawsuit. Did y'all see my video yesterday? Why is Diddy in jail? Diddy is in jail for a civil lawsuit that hasn't been adjudicated. Now, everybody who may not like it may say, hey, Cassie's not part of the charges. When they did the press conference, they quoted the Little Rod civil suit. The cold shit about that is it's not adjudicated. How can you put Diddy in jail for the civil suits? I know the civil suits are related to SA. I get that. But he hasn't been found guilty in any of the civil suits. So right now, it's still accusations. Why is he in prison and why doesn't he have a bail? So I was weaving something. I forgot what I was weaving. I'm all over the place. If y'all want me to talk about one thing, y'all can say one thing. Y'all want to talk? We can talk about Tasha K titties. I talked about Tasha K titties. Tasha K got some amazing titties. Shout out to Tasha K and all the beautiful black women. I don't think we do enough. You know, on Black Men, you know, we do a lot of stuff on here. I remember a time when black men used to like black women, right? And I think we should dedicate more time to, like, you know, like, because I like being, like, we got the freak offs. We talking about Diddy and Freaky. I like being freaky. I like pussy. And I don't think we give enough love to black pussy. Remember the song DJ Quick, Black Pussy and Black Women and ass and titties and how sexy and beautiful. I mean, the matriarchy has told you can't even talk about black women. Like, so the only way, I think black men love black women so much that we miss being able to talk about our women, right? And just be nasty and freaky about our women, because the matriarchy beats you up, calls you all type of creepy names, right? But so you don't hear black men talking about how beautiful black women are. You know, on Twitter the other day, it was some racist stuff on X. So Don Lemon said Michelle Obama was prettier than Melania, Trump's wife, right? And so you guessed it, all of the monkey, all of the NIGGER, it was sad, bro. It was disgusting. And everybody thought it was funny. I mean, the Big Mike reference, I don't think it's funny, bro. It's like we all went to high school in America. These white boys went to high school in America. So what Kendrick Lamar is saying to Andrew Schultz and all you white boys that think it's funny to call Michelle Obama these names is that, bro, you went to high school in America. We grew up together. It ain't no difference. Do you know I would beat your ass? If we were in high school, I would beat your ass, Andrew Schultz, and all you white boys on Twitter calling black woman a monkey. And that's the shit that hurt, bro, because they act un-American on the computer. Like we grew up together. You don't have to like black people. You don't have to like black women, but stop acting like you didn't go to high school in America, bro. And you would not be able to say that about no black woman. White boys would stop you. America is not racist. America is a great place to be, bro. We accept everybody. Immigrants. I have friends who got here in high school, and we accepted them in. They best friends to this day. Like white, brown, immigrant, we all become best friends. You can see it in movies. You can see it in circles at the bar. America's not like that, bro. So if you think that you could be in an American high school, especially in 2024, I went to high school in the 90s. So I know for a fact in 2024, you would not be in a high school in America saying those type of things about any woman. How about that? About any woman of any race, it wouldn't be accepted. It wouldn't be accepted by any man today. No young man, 18, 19 years old, would allow you to degrade a woman the way you guys do on the internet. So that's what bothers me, bro. Because we Americans, we go to high school. You know, you get your ass kicked in high school in America. High school in America ain't no joke. So I'll be looking at these people like, bro, you went to high school in America, bro. You went to high. That's like Shane Gillis can say that joke. You know ain't no white boy can catch no black man. Then white boys would be corners if you was that bad. All these white boys on the internet talking shit, if they was that bad, we would have white corners in the NFL. But we don't, white boys. So just stop, man, and be American. Be my brother. We don't have white boys as corners in the NFL, so y'all not kicking no ass. Y'all not, bro. There is no white centers in the NBA. You not kicking no ass, bro. You not kicking no ass. There ain't no white corners in the high school, in college. I just said Alabama, Roll Tide. The last football team to stay white had to go black because y'all white boys ain't kicking no ass. Harvard, black basketball team. PWI, I did the story on all of the PWIs have black basketball teams. Black female basketball team. Harvard female basketball, black players, black female coach. So, bro, that shit was hurtful. Melania is beautiful. Michelle Obama is beautiful. And they're both the first lady. What's wrong with us loving America? What's wrong with us loving America? Why Americans? Let the Russians say that shit. Let somebody who don't love America say that shit. What's wrong with loving America? What's wrong with having respect for the first lady? In Europe, you couldn't do that. When the queen was alive, you couldn't disrespect the queen. Somebody would kick your ass. Move. If you don't like the queen and the monarchy, move. What's wrong with loving America? Melania is beautiful. Michelle is beautiful. There's no reason to pinch them against each other. Just like I said yesterday with the black versus Puerto Rican. There is no black versus Puerto Rican for an intelligent person, because I define what Puerto Rican is. Puerto Rican is a mixed race. Puerto Rico is not an island like Africa. It is not an original island. There's no lineage there. These are slave ports. Port-au-Prince, St. Lucia. These are slave ports. Puerto Rico, Cuba, Haiti, Jamaica. These are slave ports. The people who reside there are remnants from slavery. I brought up the definition. It said Puerto Ricans, Cubans, and Dominican Republicans are mixed race, predominantly European. So when someone is trying to pit black against Puerto Rican, it's a farce. Because Puerto Rican is what? Puerto Rican is an amalgamation and remnants of oppression from slavery, which is why when Puerto Rico has a tornado, they don't give a fuck about the Puerto Ricans, because they're not real people. They put them there, left them there, and never gave a fuck about them. And instead of Puerto Ricans really understanding that, they want to beef with blacks. And what is black? Well, the black girl broke it down. She said there's a delineation of blackness. So when you say black versus Puerto Rican, what black do you mean? Because the sister said, I don't date black men. Under pressure, she said, well, you can date black, just don't date African American. She made a delineation. So you can date Jamaican and Haitian. She's calling Jamaican and Haitian black. Would she include Dominican and Puerto Rican in that assessment? So how can black be versus Puerto Rican? Do you understand what I'm saying? Why it's nonsensical argument? It's just a distraction to me. It's just something to distract us. Because there's no such thing as black and there's no such thing as Puerto Rican. It may hurt the Puerto Ricans because the Puerto Ricans love wearing that flag. It seems stupid to me, that flag, the red, white, and blue with the star, and they treat y'all like shit. America don't love you. They left y'all in the dark. They left y'all flooded. Y'all remember another conversation that never gets talked about? Van Jones got $100 million from Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos gave out 2 grants to a Puerto Rican and to a black man. They both got $100 million. The Puerto Rican took his $100 million to Puerto Rico to put in power lines, telephone lines, so they could live not like a third world country. America hadn't did it. This is a fucking amazing story. America hadn't done it. Jeff Bezos gave him $100 million, took $100 million back to build infrastructure in Puerto Rico. Does anybody know what Van Jones did with his $100 million? I'll wait. Does anybody know what Van Jones did with his $100 million? I'll look that up. That sounds fun. Let's look that up. I'll look that up. Let's go there. Van Jones gets $100 million from Jeff Bezos. Let's look that up. Jeffrey Bezos, born in 1994. Bezos, Jeffrey Bezos. Yeah, let's do that. Jeff Bezos gives Van Jones $100 million. Why? Did y'all know about that? This is the tough stuff Black manosphere should be focused on, because he gave him the money for a reason. He was supposed to be using it for blacks. I've never heard one thing that he did with the money. I never heard one thing that he did with the money. We're gonna bring it up. Cover California. Y'all know where I am by the commercials that I get. How we all get different commercials if the shit
is a quick trip to space. Jeff Bezos had 2 other big surprises in store for people today. He made charitable donations in the amount of $100 million each to 2 people, 2 friends of this program, that are the money's to be used as they see fit. They're CNN political commentator and former special advisor to President Obama, Van Jones, and Chef Jose Andres, founder and driving force behind World Central Kitchen, which serves millions of meals to disaster survivors around the globe. And on this program, we've interviewed him from Houston and San Juan, and I can't even remember how many other places, but both of you have just done extraordinary work. We talked to you earlier in the day. You got the call, was it Saturday?
Yeah, just walking on a path, and the phone rang, and it's Jeff Bezos saying that he felt that we needed to do something to support people who were trying to bring people together across racial lines, political lines, and he wanted to be supportive. And then Lauren, his partner, said that we want to give you $100 million to do it. And I literally lost the ability to speak.
You're sort of burying the lead.
Yeah.
When did you find out?
Yeah, around the same time. I mean, a few days ago, and the thing was this: it's like, what can we do to try to start investing in how to change the world one plate of food at a time? And he told me, Jose, I want to support you with this money to start finding ways to say that hunger, finally, once and for all, is going to be a problem of the past. We need to be bold, and the moment to be bold is now.
You know, I was thinking about you today, I mean, both of you, but, you know, I remember you in Houston on like an early scouting mission to sort of see what your role could be in disasters. And you'd already been doing it for years at that point. I mean, you got involved in Haiti and a lot of places. To see what you have created thus far and to think about what $100 million can do for you or for others, do you have a sense of what you want to do with it yet?
Well, on relief and emergencies, I can still not claim I'm an expert. I still keep going with the teams of World Central Kitchen to keep learning. How can we do it better? What this 100 million can do is how can we make every dollar to multiply, planting the seed in coming with simple, better ways with boots on the ground in emergencies to be next to the people when they need it the most, which is after the hurricane, the fire, the tornado hits, being next to the people now. And beyond that, how we're going to be doing reconstruction to make sure that the money we put forward is not thrown into the problem, but invested into the solutions. Again, we can do better. We must do better. And food is a great pathway to build a better future.
And Van, I mean, anybody who has seen you on CNN, even if they don't know what you do outside of CNN, has heard you talk about grassroots organizations over and over again. I feel like every time you're on, you're naming groups I've never heard of who are doing work in small communities and big communities. Do you know what you're going to do with this money?
Well, I mean, what I do know, I don't know. I mean, we just found out, and so we're gonna
have a few people giving you some ideas.
Yeah, we have a few ideas. But what I do want to say is that I've been a part of bringing people together across political lines to get people.
Why we always get the Al Sharpton ass nigga, blood? Why we always get the Jesse Jackson ass nigga, blood? God damn! It's an easy question. Puerto Rican got so much. The Puerto Rican was like, you know, we got infrastructure, power lines, hunger, and this matriarchal poop butt ass Jesse Jackson ass nigga go double talk. He go double, triple, shuffle the money, nigga. Oh my God. What you gonna do with the money? I said 5.15. Hey, it might be some new people in the chat. I said the lowest minimum wage. Y'all know Fannie Willis YSL. Guess what the lowest minimum wage in the country is? Georgia and Wyoming, $5.15. What you gonna do with the money, brother? What you gonna do with the $100 million, brother? How are you gonna help? And he didn't say, but he like Kamala Harris. You know, the Democrats, it's like a Democratic line. He didn't say, he said bringing people together. Now, the Puerto Rican is talking about going to Puerto Rico. He's talking about helping Puerto Ricans with his 100 million. Y'all ever notice that with Latinos and Asians? Come on, everybody. Like, do y'all know y'all see this shit in real life? I know this is a YouTube podcast, but I know you see this shit in real life where you have Asian friends, Hispanic friends, how they got each other back. That Puerto Rican was passionate about Puerto Rican issues. He could speak to Puerto Rican issues. He challenged the fact that America forgot about Puerto Rico after the hurricane. Let's listen to Van Jones. $5.15 is the minimum wage in Georgia. And then when I did that show, black people under Democratic regime, Van Jones Democratic, are the most unemployed in the country, highest unemployment rate for the past 4 years. Now, Yvette Carnell of ADOS and Tone Talk told y'all, y'all are the base of the Democratic Party. Why are you receiving $5 an hour in 2024? And why are you the most unemployed if you are the base of the Democratic Party? This is an assassination on Van Jones' character. Van Jones, why are blacks the most unemployed if you received $100 million? Why does Georgia have the lowest minimum wage when it has a high percentage of blacks? You talk to me, Van Jones, about what is going on in America after you got this $100 million, brother. Let's hear what he got to say.
Out of prison.
You've gotten criticized for that.
I've gotten criticized, but not by the people who got out of prison. 22 bipartisan criminal justice bills in the past 3 years in states like Georgia and Mississippi, tough places where we've been able to get red and blue, black, white, and brown together to get stuff done. And I think Jeff Bezos saw that and said, listen, if you can actually get people together, maybe some of these problems can get solved. And so the key is to believe that ordinary people are a lot smarter than the folks who get paid to yell at each other on TV or in Washington, D.C., and to empower them with the ability to solve their own problems. That's what we're going to do.
The award he's named, it's
nothing about blacks. Nothing about blacks specifically. Didn't that sound like Kamala? This is why Kamala lost. Nothing specifically about blacks, the base of the Democratic Party. He got the money, and immediately what he said, now the Puerto Rican could spend this money. I've been in meetings where school funding. Do you know that Latinos have separate funding in the schools, and the Latino advocate got their money and they left and they spent their money on ESL, English Second Learners. They advocated, the Latinos in California advocated to get money separated in the budget because the white people weren't spending money on what the Latinos wanted money being spent on, and they pay taxes too. So I'm in the meeting like, why? And then the Latino lady said, you need to get your money separated like we did, so you can buy young black boys who are illiterate, because there is a problem with young black boys. The reason the problem is not being solved because the money's not being spent. What I was told is it's reverse racism. It's reverse racism. This is a Democratic talking point. This is what Kamala believes. This is what Van Jones believes. I was told even though you're doing it for the Latino, because the Latino has a lot of influence. Everything is being made in Mexico. It's not China anymore. Biden tried to tell you, I told you. The Latino got his money separately. They could buy special computerized programs and make sure that Latino kids learn how to speak English and get jobs. That was their focus, because the lowest performing students in the school district were black males and Latino males. But the Latinos got their money siphoned off, and they were attacking the problem. They were doing special things like he's doing with his money. I couldn't do that. When I said I need money to address a national issue, this is not local, it's a national issue with young black boys under 3rd grade being illiterate. We need to spend money on that specifically. I was told that's reverse racism. We got the data. We know young black boys are not reading, but it would be racist for us to design and separate money for only black boys. What we can do is we can create money in a program for illiterate children, but it has to include all children, male and female, black, white, purple, brown. And when they do that, because of the percentages, we end up getting the short end of the stick, because we're 13% of the population. So we end up with $2 when we needed $100 to fix the problem of illiterate black boys. Do y'all know we've been talking about illiterate black boys and it hasn't changed? Can anybody tell me in the chat, is it still true? Are young black boys under 3rd grade still illiterate and the most illiterate in the country? I just checked and I told you that blacks are the most unemployed, despite being in the Democratic regime, despite being the foundation of the Democratic Party. How can we vote for Kamala when we're the most unemployed? All I needed Kamala to do was come out and say, hey, I got a jobs program. Blacks are the most unemployed in the country. So and it ain't even racial. It ain't because I'm a black woman. It's just because they are the most in need. So I'm gonna create a jobs program because I want them to pay taxes. And you know what? I also want them to be Democrat. So let's create a program to get blacks employed. Now, the statistic I read you, it didn't say black men are the most unemployed. It didn't say black women are the most unemployed. It said across the board, blacks are the most unemployed. Now, I have a problem with that when you got Kamala Harris running for president and Biden being president for the past 4 years. How can we be the base of the Democratic Party and we getting $5 an hour and we the most unemployed? So Van Jones, $100 million, how about he do some job training? How about he do something to attack the fact that blacks are the most unemployed? What he said is he gonna create coalition and work with everybody. Why when black people get money and power, you gotta work with everybody? Just like black men have to kiss black women ass. In order for you to be okay in the matriarchy, if you get any influence, NFL, football, NBA, you cannot come out. If you have a white wife, you're not getting a Nike deal. Let me hit them. Have you seen any NBA player that has a non-black wife get lifted up by any of the media? In order to be accepted in this shit, you gotta play the whole game. You gotta play the whole game. And they know it, bro. They know they gotta have. Obama had to get a black wife. Obama never dated black women. In order to get elevated, you gotta play the game. Let's listen to Van Jones, man. Van Jones is hurting my feelings, man.
It's courage and civility. And it's an interesting combination because there's a lot of folks who pretend they have courage who on cable news who are yelling and shoving their opinions down people's throats and telling people what to do, who to vote for, how to think. And then there's a lot of people who are just listening to other people's ideas and seeing what works and trying to bring people together. And that's something both of you have always done.
I always say that we need to build longer tables, not higher walls. We saw through this pandemic that the men and women at World Central Kitchen, with many chefs across the country and volunteers, we put together almost 3,000 restaurants to tackle the issues that we were facing, hospitals that had no food, shelters, elderly. We got almost a bill through Congress called the FEED Act. We were able to bring, back then, Senator Kamala Harris and Senator Tim Scott. We were able to bring people out of the House, also on both parties, together to support a bill that was pragmatic, that was smart, that was bringing people together and was solving a problem. This is the type of things that America wants to see. Food brings America and the world together. More than 87% of Americans believe that every American should be entitled to a plate of food. You see, food is the way we can be building a better America, be building a better tomorrow.
There's a lot of people who are watching today. Some of them were amazed, encouraged, excited about the future of space. Some were thinking, this man could spend his money in other ways for people who are, suffering right now. You talked about that in your talk today when you were named as a recipient of this. Can you just talk about what you say to those who say, look, is space exploration something that we really need?
Well, listen, I mean, the last time we had the space race, we got something called solar panels, which may actually wind up saving the Earth itself. So look, I'm pro innovation. I'm pro entrepreneurship. I just want everybody to get a chance to play. But I will say this. When this guy has lifted the ceiling off of a bunch of people's dreams, somebody's reaching for the heavens. There's a lot more heaven to reach for. We should be inspired by that. And by the way, it's not either or. You see these also, investing on stuff on the ground. Listen, the bipartisan cross-racial work got 20,000 people home out of federal prisons in the past 2 years, 70,000 out of state and federal. People don't even know that. People don't know that people are working together and actually freeing people and bringing people home. More people will know that if you do hard work and if you are kind, you just might get help. You get help if you scream and yell and act like an idiot because you're gonna trend. You're gonna get the ratings. You're gonna get the eyeballs. But you can get real help now from people who've got the means and resources if you do it the right way, like this brother's doing.
Van Jones, Chef Jose Andres, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Congratulations. Incredible. Yeah. Do you see this as life changing?
Let's go a little bit deeper, man. Let's go a little bit deeper, man, because I want to ask a question and see if anybody has benefited from Van Jones programs. You know what I'm saying? Because I could be wrong. I will apologize if I'm wrong. I know I'm not wrong. I'm being facetious, but because that ain't how blacks work. We would have known about it. If there was some money out there for us to benefit from, we got family all over the country. We interwoven, interconnected. Van Jones, the CNN host, has invested the $100 million grant from Jeff Bezos in a variety of initiatives, including Beat the Block, a Philadelphia-based program that provides paid training for men ages 18 to 24 to help them achieve personal and professional goals. Let's go deeper into Beat the Block. They don't. What you got? What else? Cold Pat. What is this over here? Hey, let's see what they talking about with this Philadelphia thing, because we should have, it should be a documentary. Everybody be going after Dr. Umar. Nobody said Dr. Umar out with $100 million. What happened to this $100 million? How much Van Jones reflects on the $100 million gift from Jeff Bezos' vision for empowering community? Oh yeah, so the money gone then. The money gone, y'all. Ain't that about a bitch? The money gone. Undisclosed amount to see. There's no, you don't know how much he spent. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. An undisclosed amount. Cold Path, a company that provides industry-vetted courses and career support for Black, Latino, Indigenous, and low-income students. Again, a collective. None of this is specific to Blacks. Philadelphia-based program doesn't say anything about Black men. It just says men ages 18 to 24. And we know how detrimental that could be if you don't specify who the money is for. Now, shout out to Yvette Carnell, Tone Talk, ADOS. It's important you specify who the money is for. Cold Path, a company that provides industry vetting courses and career support for Black, Latino, Indigenous. This is this POC. This is the people of color. This is the product of the Democrat. This is your Democratic Party. Your Democratic Party has created this language to marginalize you and to make sure you don't receive shit. Anytime it's something that should be for you, it has to be for this group. This is what I told you. This is what Black is. This is what Black is. You don't understand Blackness. It's because you don't understand whiteness. Whiteness inculcates power. You got Italians who assimilate whiteness, Jews who assimilate whiteness, Egyptians, Arabs, and Indians who assimilate whiteness. This is Black right here. This is POC. Black, Latino, Indigenous, and low-income students. I'm surprised they're not including women, because that just makes sure you won't get shit. Low income. Now it's really like, this is what they did with the marijuana when they said we're going to make sure that Black people get marijuana licenses. And then the law came down and it said, okay, this is for low income. And guess what happened? The Armenians bought houses in low income areas to get the benefit. And then they gave money to the city council and the politicians, and nobody gave a fuck. And that was because there was no specific language to say Black men have been treated unfairly by draconian drug laws, crime era drug laws, and Black men will receive this many allotment of marijuana dispensary licenses. The law didn't say that because that would be reverse racism. The law said low income areas. So rich people bought homes in low-income areas and bribed politicians. So there are no Black dispensaries. There are no Black medical companies, medical marijuana companies. You got Viola. Viola is owned by Al Harrington, an ex-MVP of the NBA. And when interviewed, he said, there will be no other Black owners. And he said, I'm $3 million invested in Viola, and I haven't broke a profit. I don't know any other Black businessman, even if he has the money, who would do it, who would invest $3 million and not have any profit. It's not that there aren't Black businessmen willing to invest, but there's no money. Viola has the purple jar, Al Harrington, $3 million invested. in the medical marijuana company and no money. What you do here, even in the vice specials, the white boys who own the clubs, so much taxes that the white boys ain't even making money off the clubs. So you know what the white boys is doing? Selling marijuana illegally and paying off police and politicians. Y'all didn't know that's what was going on. Let's go back. What else, Van Jones? What else, Van Jones? What else did Van Jones do with the money? Disrupting poverty in prison industry. Jones is investing in innovative approaches to disrupt poverty and prison industry in Black and brown communities. Can somebody tell me why this exists? Hey, ain't this funny? Why does this exist on Google in this way with this picture? Can anybody, let's talk about it. Why does this information, like I look up a lot of stuff, we look up a lot of stuff together, y'all, and a lot of it doesn't pop up like this. I put in what did Van Jones do with the money? I didn't even put it in grammatically correct, y'all. My question, it's not normally Google would rephrase it. It's not even grammatically correct. And it brings up a bullet point list and a beautiful picture of Van Jones. Hey, we knew you was going to ask this. We knew we was waiting for you. We was waiting. We was waiting for you. We were waiting for you. I see you. Hey, kid, I see you. I see you. Oh, shit, this is funny, man, because they know he didn't do nothing with the money, bro. How much does this cost? Why would Google do this with Van Jones? How much does this cost? Y'all know about SEO, right? Search engine optimization. Why does this exist like this? Did Van Jones pay for it? Come on, y'all. Come on. Y'all Google, y'all use the Google every day. Why is this coming up like this? Oh, man. Y'all said Google don't curate the answer. Yes, they do. Yes, they motherfucking do. They had this generative AI is experiment. Oh, man. I need a video, man. I want a video. I want a video of what he did with the money, man. I want a video. Oh, that's a good one for giving Glenn back. There's nothing negative. There's no real accounting of the money, bro. There's nothing negative and there's no real accounting of the money. And Google has been engineered to create this answer. So it's, I don't know. Y'all gonna have to help me because we ain't gonna do it right now. Y'all gonna have to help me out because right now ain't the time to go deeper on the internet and find out what he did with the money. That's crazy right there. So Google already said, Dennis, this is what we're gonna give you. Now, if you want to go on a different search engine and dig deeper into, you know, I'll be having KP from KC5, maybe KP be having some extraordinary research abilities, man. KP, I don't know what you be doing, but KP will come with a link. He's like, I found it. I seen it. You know what I'm saying? That's how my mind be working. So KP, if you see something online on the internet where somebody is analyzing the 100 million and got some information on what the brother did with the money, because the thing is with Black people, if he had donated money in Philadelphia, if he had did this thing, we would know somebody. We got family in Philly. We got family in Atlanta. We would know somebody who benefited from the Van Jones 100 million. It's a lot of money. Okay, so I see my brother can't see him, man. I still see you. I see you. I see you. That's my brother right there. Right. What's up, bro? Happy New Year, bro. Happy New Year, Tracy. Happy New Year. I'm listening. Happy New Year. You got new family in the house. We got what's the brother name? The Mac is in the building. The Mac Mizzle show. You know, that's some Bay Area shit. You know, Mackin is always cracking, man. You know what I'm saying? That's some real shit. The OG perspective, man. 2024 miscalculations, man. So we were talking about Diddy. Had some fucked up shit with Diddy, man. We was talking about Diddy and the Me Too. Like, I just want we want the conversation to be expanded to be more expansive and encompass more reality of what's going on. Like, I'm gonna keep beating it up. It's like TikTok to me. I'm gonna keep beating it up. Like, I'm gonna bring it up right now. We're gonna go right back into this Me Too shit because nobody is talking about it. So if I'm the only one gonna talk about it, let's go to the Me Too laws in Texas. Because remember, I told you it's different in every state. I showed you Como, and the law in California is different. The law in New York expanded to 20 years. The law in California expanded it to 10 years. Now, it's actually came up with Tony Busby and the difference in the law in Texas versus in New York. That's actually come up. But I don't think people understand when it's come up in the news, they're not specific in educating the public on what they're talking about. They're not actually educating the public on the fact that these are Me Too laws that were created in 2023 that expanded the statute of limitations, and they're different in every state. Going back 20 years, allowing you to go with civil lawsuits. These civil lawsuits are being used by the federal government to then prosecute, but that has not always happened with white men, right? You don't always see Louis C.K. didn't get a prosecution. Harvey Weinstein got a criminal prosecution. Now remember, the same thing that happened with Diddy is the same thing that happened with Harvey Weinstein. Harvey Weinstein got all these civil lawsuits, and then they based his criminal prosecution on evidence that was garnered from the civil lawsuits. The thing about the difference with Harvey Weinstein, again, like I said with Diddy, is these lawsuits have been resolved. So I keep saying this because I want you guys, I just want to ask you guys, like, how is Diddy in prison for things that haven't even been adjudicated? Little Rod lawsuit hasn't been adjudicated, so Little Rod hasn't been found to be truthful and honest, is my point. But they used Little Rod lawsuit when they quoted the freak offs. And why did they name it a freak off? I've never been to a freak off. I never recalled the Freak Nick, but I don't know nothing about no freak off. So why would the district attorney call it a freak off? You know what I'm saying? So the laws protect employees from severe in 2021, Texas expanded the liability of employers, general discrimination laws. I want to talk about the statute of limitations. So they changed laws in 2021 about S8 in the workplace. Texas joins Me Too movement and expands employer, individual, executive liability. Now, this is crazy. This is what the manosphere, we should have came together, black and white men, because we talk, I'm very proud of the content we created during the Me Too era. I believe it was us revealing the honest nature of BLM and Me Too. Like, we went to the website of BLM, we read it, they had to change the mission statement. That was because we actually read. We actually did the work. We did the footwork. We did the footwork on Me Too. Gillette had the, look at what happened with Bud Light. So there was other things going on. We were distracted, but underneath everything in the Me Too, there was legislation. They were passing laws. And these laws are now coming back to haunt us. So you might not see a pink pussy hat. You may not see a woman's protest, but these laws are whooping your ass. And I don't know if men and families really understand the changes that were made in the country during that time and how boldly and proudly it was said, Texas joins the Me Too movement. What? I'm not okay with that as an American. Who's okay with that in the chat? Texas join. I don't want a state. State is supposed to be impartial. State ain't a part of no movement. Even if we support women's rights, the state should be impartial, right or wrong. Somebody tell me in the chat. The state don't join the Me Too movement. I read that to you the other day about New York. Texas joins the Me Too movement. That's scary, bro. That's something we need to worry about. Our state, come on, man. Statute limitations. That's the one I want to know about. Two laws in Texas statute of limitations: personal injury, criminal. I want to talk about SA. Statute of limitations in civil lawsuits. Okay, we know that. What claims have a 2-year statute? What claims have 4-year limitations? Criminal statute limitation. I need to know about Texas SA. I want to know about Texas SA. It's not coming up. Let's look for California. California expands statute of limitations for civil suits. California expanded statute of limitations for civil claims for SA. If you have experience SA in California, you might still be able to take legal action. And who is this? What website? Because remember, I told you this was a boondoggle from the lawyers, right? This might be a lawyer website. Even if the act occurred years ago, thanks to the passage of a new law on January 1st, 2023, California expanded its statute of limitations for SA claims, which permits survivors to file claims for SA that happened years ago. In the past decade, in large part to the impact of the Me Too movement. God dog. This was no joke, bro. Why? Y'all don't understand what's going on with Diddy is directly affected to this. But the problem I be having is, where's all the white men that the Me Too movement was supposed to be about? It says survivors have come forward in increasing numbers, undoubtedly in response to this movement. California has reportedly redefined its statute of limitations for SA cases to give survivors more opportunities to take legal action. Some California charges permanently increase the period of time a survivor can bring a civil claim for. I'm gonna read that one more time, man. One more time, man. This should not. This what they did with the Amber Heard trial. They said they had legislation on the floor, and this is like slavery. This should no be blanket laws like this, because this is violating another right that you have to a speedy trial, to a fair trial, to see my accuser. These are all of my rights. Bill of Rights, Constitution, but this is going against, for me too. It's just like Rico. It subverts my acts. That's why Jay-Z said, I get to see my accuser. Some of California's changes permanently increase the period of time a survivor can bring a civil claim for SA. Other charges temporarily open a look back window during a survivor can bring a civil claim for SA that had otherwise expired. That's some code. Come on, man. This is January 1st, 2023. That's how we got here. And the same thing happened in New York.
Tells allegations against more than 300 predator priests.
It is so disturbing to me what he did to me and so many other people. This is so much bigger than just me.
In California, victims of childhood sexual assault can file civil lawsuits against institutions, schools, churches, camps, and people they say sexually abuse them. But they lose that right when they turn 26. That's about to change. Hello, I'm Elizabeth Castillo, reporter for Cal Matters. I'm going to explain a new law giving people more time to sue over childhood sexual assault. Starting in January, people have until their 40th birthday to sue adults who they say sexually molested or assaulted them when they were children.
AB 218 would
The new law, authored by San Diego Assemblywoman Lorena Gonzalez, also gives victims who are now over age 40 3 years to file such suits. State lawmakers have tried twice before to pass similar legislation, but former Governor Jerry Brown vetoed both. At the time, Brown argued that statutes of limitation exist for good reason. Witnesses die, memories fade. But much has changed since then. The Me Too movement has forced institutions and individuals to reckon with past sexual assault claims. And there's a new governor with a different perspective. Schools, churches, and their insurance companies worry about the cost of new lawsuits. They warn that as time passes, records and witnesses may become
Gavin and Como, y'all got to pay attention. New governor, Jerry Brown, said no. He said it's unfair. He said witnesses die, memories fade. Now, think about the 13-year-old girl. She doesn't know any. Even Andrea Constant with Bill Cosby, she couldn't remember the day. That's why Bill Cosby came in and gave the affidavit. That's why they didn't charge Bill Cosby, because every time she came into the police station 3 times, she couldn't say the date and time that Bill Cosby supposedly SA'd her. Every date that she said, the detective went to verify the date. Bill Cosby was out of town. Bill Cosby didn't even have to deny it. The only reason it got to that point is because the detective went to the district attorney, and the district attorney and the detective called Bill Cosby in based on this claim and said, we're not going to charge you because we don't believe her, because we can't substantiate her claim. But what we would like to do in exchange for not charging you, we're going to ask you to go on record, but I'm never going to release it. I'm never, ever, I promise, under law, and your lawyer is here, and we're never going to release it, but we need on record what actually happened, because she's not telling us the truth about what actually happened, and this is going to protect you in the future. You tell us, Bill Cosby, what actually happened, this is going to protect you in the future. Bill Cosby gave the affidavit, and we know what happened after that.
unavailable, making it increasingly difficult to defend against old claims. But supporters, including social workers and the California Police Chiefs Association, say survivors should be given more time because it may take some people years or even decades to deal with the emotional trauma caused by sexual assault. Now, attorneys are...
Now, why would the police chiefs support this law? I showed an interview where there were black police officers saying, you don't want to be on the bad side of your captain, and he say, you need another arrest. See, they get promoted, they get judged on the number of arrests. And the black police officer said, I hadn't had a day off in 3 weeks. He said, if I get told that I'm going to the lowest common denominator, the interviewer said, what do you mean? Well, I'm gonna go to the community where I could get that arrest where no one's gonna say anything. I can't go to the rich white community because somebody's gonna call the mayor and I can get in trouble. But my captain just said, I need to go arrest 5 more people. I'm going to the black and the gay community, and I'm going to arrest 5 more people. So that's why the chiefs and the police would support this law, because they need the numbers. Remember yesterday I talked to you about the numbers, why the lawyers would support this law? They need the numbers. This is about their money. And if this is going to create more arrests, then I can get promotion. If y'all remember in Chicago, when they would talk about the killing, the first thing the black police chief would come out and say, he wouldn't address the fact that it was the Memorial weekend and there was 114 shootings. The first thing he would say is, we have 300 arrests for stolen cars. We have 700 arrests for prostitution. We have a task force. They brought in 3 crack houses. And then at the end of the press conference, he addresses the 114 shootings over the Memorial Day weekend. But the first thing he talks about is his numbers. I arrested 500 people for stealing cars. So he wants to keep his job. And how he keeps his job, despite whether or not 500 people stole cars or not. You know what I'm saying? He don't care. The officers don't care. If black men get arrested for bullshit all the time and they let you go home, and you'd be like, why did they arrest me and let me go home? So that chief could come on the TV and say, I arrested 500 people for stealing cars. He didn't say we convicted 500 people. He didn't say we prosecuted, because we can't even afford to prosecute everybody I arrest. That's something else they ain't going. We don't have enough people. We don't have enough time. We don't have enough jail cells. We cannot prosecute everybody we arrest to get these numbers. So all I got to do is arrest people.
are preparing for a wave of civil lawsuits starting January 1st. To learn more about other new California laws taking effect,
they are preparing for a wave of civil law. Damn, let's give God a hand praise. Didn't I just say this yesterday? I said, why would the lawyers lobby for a law like this? They are preparing for a wave of money. Come on, y'all. Let's talk. What did we say yesterday when Alonzo was here? $800 million. I rounded it up to $1 billion, 30%. That's $300 million. They are getting prepared for a wave of money. Then I told you why. I said, you have market share and you reach a equilibrium. You reach a point in your market share where you can only make that much money. It's the same thing happens in drugs. It's the same thing happens in being a lawyer. There's only so many lawsuits, right? There's only so many lawsuits. Mathematically, they can figure it out. Our market share is $5 every year, based on the amount of lawsuits, divorces, criminal, everything. We did the math. We aggregated the data over 20 years. $5 a year. That's it, bro. As a lawyer in California, that's it. How can we increase that? We need to create more laws. I said they lobbied to get the law that said it's against the law to not have car insurance. And everybody as a citizen can tell you that didn't really benefit me. Having a law that says everybody has to have car insurance, people still drive crazy. Accidents have gone up. That didn't help me as a driver. Who did that help? Anybody? The lawyers. The lawyers got a wave of civil suits. A wave. That's why they would support a law expanding indefinitely your ability to sue. Even though somebody might be dead. This is the same thing I talked about with Megan Thee Stallion. I was talking to my wife about it the other day. So it's just not about Tory Lanez or any black man on YouTube who says she didn't get shot. I said, I work in healthcare. I said, it's a huge insult to everybody that night. We saw the video of those beautiful big-legged women getting arrested. It was 10 cops out there. You got EMTs, you got ambulance drivers, you got the emergency room staff, you got the doctor who interviewed her. So everybody that night was lying, Meg. Everybody that night was stupid. You are the genius. And then the second doctor who Rock Nation paid to do an evaluation on you who saw fragments, that doctor knows more than the 30 professionals, the 20 police officers, the umpteen EMTs, the ambulance driver, everybody at the ER once you got to the ER, the radiologist who took your x-rays, the lab assistants who took your blood, everybody who saw you that first night, who nobody documented, because I work in healthcare, documentation, that's my job. I train them how to document. They will assess you head to toe. No, and they have a computer. They don't have no benefit. They didn't know nothing about Tory. They don't have no dog in the fight that night. You're telling me that all those medical professionals, those criminal professionals, everybody that assessed you that night, and everybody said you didn't get shot. 30 days later, Meg Thee Stallion says, I got shot. After all physical evidence is gone. So imagine 20 years. Imagine 20 years go by and somebody say you did something. I don't care what it is. This is why Jerry Brown said no. How do you have a fair trial? It's not that I'm being evil right now. How do you have a fair trial? Tory Lanez didn't get a fair trial when she changed her story after 30 days. Imagine if 3 years had went by. Imagine if 10 years had went by. Imagine if what they propose right now, 20 years had went by and Meg Thee Stallion then came out and said, Tory Lanez did something to me. 20 years. And we know that you were a pass out drunk. You were at a party getting drunk, just like the 13-year-old girl. The 13-year-old girl was at a party getting drunk. And we are expected to believe verbatim what happened at a party where a 13-year-old who shouldn't have been there, who shouldn't be drinking, that we believe everything. But Me Too movement said believe all women, but we didn't know that there was actually legislation being created behind the terminology believe all women in the Pink Pussy Act resulted in laws that said that judges had to believe all women. So 20 years go by. 20 years go by. And Jay-Z and Diddy can get a fair trial. Let's say you were an adult and you were at a party drinking. Take 13, but she's 13, bro. Let's say you're an adult at a party drinking. And 20 years go by. As a judge and a litigator, how can I be truthfully honest that I can give a fair trial? You were at an after party for the VMAs and you were drinking, drunk. As an adult, I would take everything you say with a grain of salt. I have to, as a litigator, I have to be impartial. I can't be this Me Too person. I wasn't hired as a Me Too judge. I have to be impartial. And I have respect for you, young lady. I'm not calling you a liar. I'm just looking at the facts on the table. And that you went to a party of your own volition, you drank and you went into a room, but now you're telling me 20 years later that what happened in that room you didn't consent to. When you consented to go to the party and you consented to drink the alcohol. See, Me Too have changed the perspective on these things. We used to have a different perspective because if you were impartial, you would have to say, even though it may hurt somebody, even though something may have happened in that room, as an impartial judge of the facts, I can't assume what happened in that room. And that's not my fault. And I'm not going to blame you and say it's your fault, but you have found yourself there and you didn't say anything for 20 years. So as an impartial party of the law, I'm impartial, and my duty is just to enforce the law. I can't come down on the side of a woman. I can't come down on the side of Me Too. So I can't know what happened in that room. I to be honest, young lady, I don't know if you can know what happened in that room. So I don't see how we can prosecute a billionaire. This is a reason why statute of limitations. The statute of limitations don't exist to be impartial to women. I think about that, bro. Statute of limitations don't just apply to women. Remember when we just looked it up, we had statute of limitations for employers, criminal statutes of limitations. Statute of limitations exists because of our Bill of Rights, because of our Constitution, because you have a right to a fair trial. And if certain things don't exist anymore, then you cannot come to a reasonable doubt on the decision of what actually happened in that room. That's all this is about. It ain't about whether something happened in that room or not. And that's the part where I'm upset with the level of intelligence and intellectuals in this space. Is like, it's not about what happened in that room or not. It's about what you can prove. It ain't about what happened in that room. It's as a job, as a district attorney, as a judge, as a lawyer, as a steward of the law, as an impartial student of the law, it's impossible to prove what happened in that room. And that's sad. It's sad for all parties. But we don't get to, in 2024, exact revenge on everybody who might have got touched on these two black men. And we don't get to make up shit and take their money. And we have to be honest about the fact that it would be that, because there's no way to prove what happened in that room. Legally, there's no way to prove what happened in that room. So let's listen to this again, because I said to you that this was done by lawyers, right? And I want you to hear again what they said, that they're preparing for a wave of civil suits. That was crazy because, you know, I had to give God a hand praise, because I'll be giving my 1-2, and I know God got my back. But when I researched this. Y'all seen this. I didn't have this video prepared. I just pulled this up to help prove my point, help validate some of my points I've shared with you.
Lawsuits starting January 1st. To learn more about, because it may take some people years or even decades to deal with the emotional trauma caused by sexual assault. Now, attorneys are preparing for a wave of civil lawsuits starting January 1st.
Now, attorneys are preparing for a wave of lawsuits starting January 1st.
Social workers and the California Police Chiefs Association say survivors should be given more time because it may take some people years or even decades to deal with the emotional trauma caused by sexual assault. Now, attorneys are preparing for a wave of civil lawsuits starting January 1st. To learn more about other new California...
Can't make this shit up, man. Can't make this shit up, man. What did Mac Mizzle say? As a man that knows the judicial process, money talks, the judge looks out for who has the bigger bag, which is Rock Nation, for sure. And okay, Mac Mizzle, I don't know how old you are, but we got some OGs in the chat. How many people remember, what was that show, that lawyer show that was the lawyer down south? Well, this is a black and white show. Our grandmothers would watch it. I remember watching it with my grandma. And then, so what Mac Mizzle said is true, but there's something, these nuances that we saw in Georgia and these nuances that exist in the South when it comes to practicing law. And one of the things that used to be an old stick in movies in the 80s and the 70s and the 50s and the 60s was a big city lawyer going to it was even my cousin Vinny. Shout out to Marissa Torme. Ooh, that's why I like Sicilian women. Shout out to Mrs. Perfect Timer. Boy, she don't know how much I've loved Sicilian women my whole life, man. Shout out to Marissa Torme, my cousin Vinny. So it was a stick that the big city lawyer go to the country. And he's a great lawyer. He knows the law. And then he gets down south and they doing something different in the courtroom. Like, is that legal? Can you do that? Like, they doing whatever, like putting the lawyer like Glanville. It was like a movie, right? It's like my Glanville put the lawyer in prison. I know YSL still was like, Lord, is this happening? Am I in a movie? Am I in a fucking movie? Why do I practice law in Georgia? I'm never doing law in Georgia anymore. Am I in a fucking movie? It was like my cousin Vinny. So so to that fact, yes, money talks in the judicial system, but there's a whole different world. There's a different world, so much so that you see it in movies, but they haven't made a movie like this in a long time. I think we're ripe for another My Cousin Vinny. We're ripe for another, fish out of water, big city lawyer goes down south to Georgia, but now My Cousin Vinny was all white. Maybe we do a black version of My Cousin Vinny, a big city black lawyer comes to Georgia, and it's a big booty black woman that's a district attorney, and she gorgeous. And it's a black judge, and he rich and powerful. You know what I'm saying? But they country is a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And you come down here and you staring at her ass, and they just gobble him up. They gobble up the big city attorney. That would be a great movie. But those nuances I shared with my wife, like we weren't really seeing and understanding what was happening in Georgia, because a lot of us are not old enough to like know My Cousin Vinny and to know that stick. Like it was a stick. It was not just My Cousin Vinny, but like I told you, it was a black and white TV show that my grandmother watched. This shit would come up a lot in my childhood, and it was hella entertaining. That's a bomb-ass movie. It made both of them, and Pesci, Joe Pesci. Come on, man, great movie. Gorgeous Marissa Tomei, Joe Pesci, one of the best actors of our time. Goodfellas, Casino, and he did a great job. I like Joe Pesci when he did The Comedian. So he was, he did the gangster shit, but people my age remember Joe Pesci from Home Alone when he was doing the funny shit. You know what I'm saying? So I bring this up to weave in the Tony Busby aspect of this whole thing. And I said yesterday, where was his hotline for Weinstein and Epstein? And I'm saying those names together on purpose, not to rhyme them, but to bring out certain nuances about those last names. Where was your hotline for Weinstein and Epstein? They got money. Why you got a hotline for Diddy? He So what you need to know about Tony Busby is he is one of these down south lawyers. There was a black man who's a self-loathing black YouTuber who was supporting Tony Busby, and he said, Tony Busby is a great person because in Texas University, he has all these plaques and he's respected. I'm like, you telling on yourself. You are so ignorant. You don't even know what's going on. This is a good old boy. Just the good old boys. Never do it no harm. Been a dog and the day you were born. Tony is a good old boy. The judge is a good old guy. And they going after these big city New Yorkers. They going after their money. See, he has a history of this. And for me not to believe it, he would have to have a history of going after the white people that these laws were designed for. Now, when I showed you video, who did the white people show? The white people show clergy, Boy Scouts. When they say about these laws and expanding statute of limitations, they say you could sue the church. You could sue the church now. Yeah. You could go back. Yeah. But I don't see nobody, 800 million archdiocese, no criminal charges. $1.5 billion paid out by that church, no criminal charges. Diddy hasn't paid out anything. He paid out money to Cassie, but that can't be brought in. Diddy hasn't, and Diddy didn't admit to guilt in the Cassie payout. So there's no admission to guilt that Diddy did anything and he can't even get bail. Never did a crime and he can't even get bail. Tony Busby is a good old boy. See, he went after, I know him because I did the Deshaun Watson. Now, me and you, Tracy, Ken, we watched. I was on biting my nails. You know what I'm saying? We covered Deshaun Watson coming out of court. And the grand jury, 2 grand juries found him innocent. There were 60 people. Now, remember Bill Cosby, they had 80 women. They had 60 women. Everybody kept saying, perfect. How can you defend Deshaun Watson? Where was everybody at then? Remember, we were defending Deshaun Watson before he got the innocent verdict. And everybody was like, perfect. How can you defend Deshaun Watson? 60 people. 60 people. I broke it down. And it was Tony Busby with the bullshit. And it turns out he only could get 9 women to show up. Out of those 9 women, only 4 of them would testify. This is Tony Busby had created all of this shit. And then I uncovered why was they going at. I said, and then you can see how he's an operative. Remember how I told you how Fannie Willis was an operative? You need to know Tony is an op. He was used by the good old boy clan in Texas when Deshaun left to go to Cleveland. And Deshaun didn't play and do what Texas wanted him to do. And Deshaun said, I didn't like it. I didn't like the way they treated me. I didn't like the way they did me. It was not, he didn't like the vibe. He felt like it was right. He didn't say the word racist, but he didn't feel it. Old boy gave Deshaun $275 million guaranteed. Next thing you know, all these accusations come out. And Deshaun, like, I have a personal masseuse. I didn't do nothing to no women. Turned out Deshaun is a freak, just like Diddy. But it's not against the law. And they couldn't prove that he did anything illegal. He is a freak. But a lot of people who don't do drugs, don't do alcohol, they vice be women and sex. And I think that's worse. Like the LaMelo Ball, the Ball brothers, they don't drink, they don't do alcohol, but they vice is women and sex. I think it's worse because women and sex will kill you quicker. Ask any OG. Women and sex will kill you quicker than drugs and liquor. Oh, that rhymes. That must have been in the song before. Come on, man. Women and sex will kill you quicker than drugs and liquor. Let me catch up with Mac Mizzle. He said the white man whole history is based on that. Yep, that movie was a classic. Come on. Like the YSL case of Fannie Mammy, well-rounded actor. Come on. Exactly. Racism at its finest. Ken said, just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw, been in trouble with the law ever since the day you was born. Now think about that. Thank you, Ken. Let's read that again. Because my life isn't like that. That's like Cat Williams, where he say we got 2 different cadences. Fucked up, and the black cadence is fucked up. He said been in trouble. Let's read it. Just a good old boy, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw. Beats all you ever saw. That's how they see themselves as a white man. They see themselves as a white Jesus. As my wife was saying, why all the quarterbacks look like this? Beats all you ever saw, been in trouble with the law since the day he was born. But it's okay. He's still a good old boy despite being in the trouble with the law. So Tony Bugby was an op, and he was called on to attack Deshaun for leaving that football team and not doing what them people wanted him to do. So they was going to drag that boy and put him in prison. And Deshaun couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it. I just got $275 million guaranteed. I'm the first black man, the first NFL. No one got a contract like this in the NFL ever before. You trying to take it from me? You trying to put me in jail? The same thing he said to Jay-Z, he said to Deshaun, give me some money and I won't do it. And he created a story, created a narrative where 60 women all, I remember, believe all women. Deshaun beat this during Me Too, just like Johnny Depp. 60. All I would say to Tony Bugby is, how could you be that wrong? And you want me to believe you now? Mr. Bugby, how can you be that wrong? 2 grand juries found you. Your tactics are flawed. Your premises are flawed. And I would say borderlining on criminal. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. How can I take you at face value and I'm being impartial? Deshaun Watson got found innocent by 2 grand juries. I covered the case. I did the journalism. So how can I take you? I'm not like these guys who hate black men, who want to get views off of hating black men. There's so many of you guys out there who do this counter narrative and hate black men, and your goal is to get views off of hating black men. No, we're not doing that here. Impartially speaking, if he was that wrong about Deshaun, why would I give him, like my mama said, his worth of weight in gold? No, I'm not. No, I'm not. He was that wrong about Deshaun. 60 accusations, and everybody that he did, it was the same thing like with this 13-year-old girl, where she had never got a lie detector test, but Diddy is in jail based on this accusation. So the same thing happened with Deshaun Watson when they went to the grand jury. Turns out the women that he vetted, he didn't really vet. You have a MO, Tony. You have a modus operandi like Fannie Willis, like Miss Love. You have a prosecution style that is flawed and criminal. And you've done it over and over. Just like we should take criminals at their face value on their behavior, I'm taking him at his face value at his behavior. How could he be that wrong? He engineered the case with 60 accusations. And when it was vetted out by the grand jury, they all were liars. So why would I believe you now? He has 120 lawsuits against Diddy. From Texas. Why is it a law? Why is this guy doing this from Texas? And again, where's his hotline for Epstein and Weinstein? The last thing I heard is people say all bad boy employees is going to get looked at. They want to look at the kids. Epstein brother, Epstein cousin, all the Epstein folks didn't get looked at. All the Weinstein folks didn't get looked at. What's up with the Boy Scouts? People still go to the, I ain't even gonna say the name of it. Every Sunday, y'all up in there after $880 million getting paid out. Anybody else would be closed. You in there taking communion. Huh? Hail Mary. 800 million. And I said to you yesterday, where did LA get 800 million? Where did they get the 800 million? Jeff Bezos gave Van Jones 100 million. 800 million is a lot of dollars. They had it to pay out. They didn't pay it out 1.5 billion. And they ain't hurting. I ain't seen not one church close. That's some cold shit. I ain't seen one church close, man. They didn't pay out 1.5 billion. They popped their collar, man. Pop collar, man. We don't go away. Swearing to a slusher, man. 1.5 billion, man. We ain't tripping, man. We be open on Sunday. Oh, that even funny. Think about that. 1.5 billion. We be open on Sunday. Boy, get more money, right? How much they collected one Sunday? Y'all want to look it up? How much does the Catholic Church collect on one Sunday? Let's look it up. Let's look it up. How much do they collect on one Sunday? What is it called? Donations. How much tithes are collected on Sunday in America? Nope. How much? So Google don't know what a tithe is, y'all. How much money is collected since Google don't know what a tithe is? That's not what I asked. In church, each Sunday. They don't got this information? Come on, man. How much, what does a church care so much about money? How much let's go to R. I'm in the wrong place. Let's see. According to available data, the average amount collected in church each Sunday is around $200 per person, with most donation falling between $100 and $250, depending on the size of the location of the church. However, this can be greatly depending on the congregation and denomination. How much overall? Studies suggest that the average person donates around $17 per week to their church. Okay. So how much is that, y'all? How many parishioners do we got? I know they know this number. I know they know this number. $74 billion per year. $74 billion per year. Come on, $74 billion per year. Let's read it out loud. Let me move this up so y'all can see it. All right, can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? The latest church revenue statistics show that religious congregations in the U.S. take in around $74 billion per year. Around 17 million American Christians visit official websites of their churches regularly. The average weekly donation amount made per churchgoer is $17. 74 billion a year. So anybody at home who was like tripping off of me laughing at they 1.5 billion and being open on Sunday, this is real pimping. Who understand real pimping when you see it? I'm gonna pay you 1.5 billion. It ain't no sweat, Jack. It ain't no sweat, Jack. 74 billion a year. 70. That's just not fathomable. It's like a country. Does America like? That's more than countries, y'all. That's more than countries. We was mad at the Ukraine for what they got, the 80 billion. That's 74 billion. What are they? Where is that money going, y'all? And it's going to evil. It's going to evil. Evil. That was evil. They had to pay out 1.5 billion because of evil. You know, I'll be joking and making loud noises and shit, but they had to pay out that 1.5 billion because they was evil. It was evil shit they did. They abused their godly powers and trust. People trusted them as leaders. Trusted you, and you took advantage of innocent children. Nobody out going to jail. I ain't heard about no mass arrest of priests. no mass conviction, no mass prosecution, where you would have that image in your mind of a white priest being prosecuted and going to jail. Why, Perfect? They paid out $1.5 billion. Didn't they do something for that? Diddy don't even have a bail. Yeah, 1.5 billion ain't shit. 74 billion a year. That's what that's just in America. And so anybody watching, what did Mac Mizzle say? Facts. I'm gonna shout your channel out when I go live. I don't make that connection between Deshaun and Diddy very interesting. Thank you, bro. A lot of people don't know that's the same lawyer that went after Diddy is the same lawyer that went after Deshaun Watson, and that Tony Busby is an op. He's in the, yes, he is in that college where he went to college. He is celebrated because he's a good old boy. And he get called on. Just like they called on Donna Brazile when they wanted somebody to cheat for Hillary Clinton. She's a Democratic operative. They called on Fannie Willis more than once, bro. We let it go that they brought Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade to the White House. That's 2024 miscalculation. She about to get fucked up. What's the biggest miscalculation in 2024? I'm about to go. Y'all let me know in the comment section. I've been asking y'all to leave a comment, and I'm like, man, I'm not even gonna get my feelings hurt. Ain't nobody left no comments. Who had the biggest miscalculation in 2024? Is it Fannie Willis? Is it Drake? Drake wanted to beef with Kendrick during the negotiation. Them people owe him billions of dollars. We heard about the $400 million deal. I brought it up today already. And he made that $400 million back already. Drake got some bread, y'all. The money they owe Drake is new money. And they owe him that money. Drake, that $100 million house, everything, all that shit paid for. This boy playing with some money. We heard about the $400 million. Well, he made that money. They gave him the $400 million. They made it back and more. Drake at the table like, okay, I made the $400 million back that y'all gave me already. That's my money now. But we got a bigger problem. I didn't stop making money. Y'all owe me another $800 million right now. That's based on my contract and my numbers. I made the $400 million back, but I kept selling music. So after I made the $400 million, now we at $800 million. Y'all got to cut a check. And I don't want the $800 million. I want $2 billion. Because I don't want to keep coming back here asking y'all for my money. Because I'm going to be at that $800 million. By the time we get done with this negotiation, I'm going to be at that $800. So go ahead and give me $2 billion. And then we'll talk again next year because I'm going to make that $2 billion in a second. And his calculation was to argue with Kendrick, a known phenom, a known lyricist. You never addressed the what's that verse? The Boogeyman verse. What's the name of the control verse? You never addressed the control verse. You come out with J. Cole. You bring J. Cole with you. This is some bitch ass nigga shit, boy. This is some bitch ass nigga. And J. Cole's a sucker, man. Jay, don't believe J. Cole. We don't believe you. And then because J. Cole fell for the okie doke, bro. J. Cole came with this nigga blood. Why ain't you just eating cold? This nigga, man, man, you know I came like, you know, it's like me and my dad. We shared. It's like both my dad won't be asked for my bike back. You know, that's J. Cole. J. Cole, nigga, because Drake didn't want to do the shit by himself, so he brought Cole on the first person shooter. Nigga, why you ain't alone if it's the first person shooter, nigga? He brought Cole on the first person shooter with that weak ass shit. Say it then. Who to go? I hated that shit. It was on the radio all day, every day. But y'all remember, this is why J. Cole got his ass. Who told your bitch ass to jump on that song? Nigga, fuck the big three, nigga. It's just Big me. It's your fault, J. Cole. You see what that nigga called you with that first person shit. You just said that's a good song, my nigga. I'm good. No. Light skin Wonder Twin activate. That's a light skin Wonder Twin. Yeah, nigga, y'all tried to double up on that light skin. It was too light. It was too light. Not type shit. That was light shit. You know how the young people be like type shit? Light shit. Light shit, type shit, light shit. That was some type shit, light shit, bro. So y'all did that. Y'all came with the first. That was a miscalculation. Them people owed you billions. And you called J. Cole to do first person. Nobody told you to do that shit, nigga. You should have got your money. Them people owe you your money. I want you to get your money even today. I want you to get your money. You deserve it. It's your money. Get your money. Who had the biggest miscalculation? Was it Drake? Was it Fannie Willis? Fannie Willis was fucking a married man. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. She's fucking a married man. She took the nigga to the White House. She took the nigga. This her nigga, like it's her nigga. That nigga still married. She hired the nigga. She went on vacation with the nigga. She paid the nigga. Bro, we talking about was Will Smith, was that this year or last year? Was it Chris Rock? I don't know who got the shit slapped out of him. Who had the biggest miscalculation? I don't know. Did the nigga miscalculate that Will Smith was going to get up and slap the dog shit out of him? That was a miscalculation like a motherfucker. But we talk about miscalculations, man, missteps. I don't know, you tell me, Fannie Willis, who fucking a married man. Do y'all understand that is the crux of her character, who she is and why we're here? Why you even know who the bitch is? Because she was fucking a married man. Like it was her husband. And it wasn't. And the black woman he was married to, going through a divorce, said, I need to let this bitch know something. It's like some old school Mama Shirley vibe. Bitch, that ain't your husband, bitch. And she told the whole world, this bitch is fucking my husband. That's why we here. The black woman that Nathan was married to said, she was tired of fatty. Bitch, you're fucking my husband on vacation. You just hired him and paid him $250,000. That's my money. Give me my money. Give me my money. Give me my money. That's why we here. Because she was fucking a married man. She threw a fundraiser for Biden while she's trying to prosecute his political opponent. You can't make this. The white judge said, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You posted it on your fucking Facebook. You can't do that. It is like she didn't even know. What you mean? You cannot raise money, donate to one political party, and then prosecute the opposite. You look like a Democratic operative. You're not even trying to cover it up. The white judge said, why would you do that? Why would you do it? Why would you post it? Why? Oh, shit. Yeah, man. Yeah, so who got the biggest miscalculation? And it's not even about YSL. It's not even got the young YSL. Why she wasn't even in the courtroom. This is just about miscalculations, bro. And fucking a married man. Why you prosecuting the president of the United States. At least, like, you got to be having clean hands. There's terminology. There's ethics. There's a code of ethics for lawyers and judges, but there's a term in the game. We say clean hands. You want to have clean hands. If you're going after Trump, you want to have clean hands. I mean, you don't want to be fucking nobody's husband at that time. I'm just type shit, like shit, type shit, you know. Maybe you too. Type shit, like shit. Shit. So who had the worst miscalculation? So yeah, man, when you talk about it, man, do your research, man. Tony Busby, man. He was the guy who went up to Deshaun Watson, and he was that wrong. 60 people wrong. 2 grand juries wrong. No witnesses coming forward. Everybody that he vetted, the people that he brought forth to the public to say that Deshaun Watson doesn't deserve this $275 million, that the people that he brought forward, just like this 13-year-old girl, again, it's his modus operandi. You didn't do your vetting, bro. You didn't even do a lie detector test on this 13-year-old. You didn't talk to her father. You let her go on ABC. This the same shit you did why Deshaun Watson was acquitted. He's a clown. He's a racist clown and an op. And he thinks so little of the American people that he doesn't even do his homework. That's how racists really act. They believe in this black and white shit, and they believe they can get all this done just simply because someone is black, and it's worked so far. It's worked for Diddy with the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That is not evidence of anything. He should have a bail. He should be able to fight. He should be able to run his business and take care of his family. They kept Young Thug in prison for years while giving everybody these 15-year probate. It makes no sense. You know what I saw the other day? No, we're going to skip that. I saw where they said Georgia is the worst state for probation. They got the most people on probation. Most people in Georgia, you know, probation anywhere else is 12 months. You know what probation is in Georgia? 6 years, where the minimum wage is $5. It is a correlation with poverty and crime. We already know there's a correlation between poverty and crime. So you keep the minimum wage low, and then you keep these draconian laws high. It's like modern day slavery down there. So then you got what was it, Alabama or Arkansas with the highest prisoners who go to work and they make the most money. I did a story on that. That came up again. I'm like, oh, I'm glad that's coming up again, because I did a story on that where a black woman who was working at Burger King 8 hours a day for 10 years while being incarcerated. All the money going to the state. And then we come to find out it's convict leasing. That's the term. And it was Arkansas or Alabama with the biggest. Oh, God damn. Okay, you guys, y'all don't love me. Let's go. Y'all do not love me. Y'all don't love me. No, I mean it, man. What's my Cash App? What state has the convict leasing program? Alabama. Can y'all see it? I'll bring it up for y'all so y'all can see it. What I asked is, what state has the biggest convict leasing program? Convict leasing began in Alabama in 1846. Man, I don't even want to do this story, bro. Y'all want to do something else? I mean, I don't want to do it, bro. I don't want to do it, bro. I talked about it before. It's just sad, bro. I want to do it, bro. Because when was the slavery over, bro? When was slavery over, bro? As soon as slavery ended, they went into convict leasing, and they still have it, and they're the biggest state, which means it's just slavery, which is why I don't want to talk about it, because nobody wants to hear a black man talk about slavery in 2024. They think you're a victim. I don't want to. Sad, bro. I don't even want to do the story. God be leading me. God, thank you. with this powerful content. Convict leasing began in Alabama in 1846 and lasted until July 1st, 1928, when Herbert Hoover was vying for the White House. In 1883, about 10% of Alabama's total revenue was derived from convict leasing. In 1898, nearly 73% total revenue came from the same source. So they say it don't have it, but that's not what I know about. So it says it's over. What stopped convict leasing? What? So it's saying that it's over, so they must call it a different name, because I just did a story on this shit. In 1868, Georgia's first convict lease contract granted 100 prisoners from the state penitentiary to Georgia and Alabama Railroad for a period of 1 year at a cost of $2,500. Now think about that. That's in 1868, and the minimum wage is $5. You was worth more as a slave. You worth more as a slave. When you go to prison in Georgia, you worth more money as a prisoner. You probably make more money as a prisoner than you do as a free person. This is some perversion right here. So let's look up convict leasing in Wikipedia. And we're going to keep going, because I know this shit still exists. I don't know. They be playing with the terminology. That's the what the fuck is this? Convict leasing. Convict leasing was a system of forced penal labor that was practiced historically in southern United States before it was formally abolished during the 20th century. Under the system, private individuals and corporations could lease labor from the state and from prisoners, nearly all whom were black. So listen to what we're saying, and then we're going to go find what they're doing right now, because I showed a black woman who worked at the Burger King. The state of Louisiana leased out convicts as early as 1844. The system expanded throughout the South with emancipation enslaved people at the end of American Civil War in 1865. So they started convict leasing before the end of slavery. So 1844 to 1865 was the end. The practice peaked at 1880 after slavery, because they wanted to keep people enslaved, and persisted in various forms until it was abolished by President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The system was highly lucrative for both. They talked about how 73% of Alabama money came from convict leasing. This is slavery, right? I want to see how it manifests today. Okay, what do they call it today? Whatever the program is, what does it manifest? What is this? Ain't telling me enough, man. I gotta figure out what somebody in the chat help me out. What they call it now. I did a story on this. That black girl was working at Burger King for like 10 years.
Late 19th century, developed coercive means to ensure that cotton remained king. It was called convict leasing. Get arrested on a minor charge or a trumped-up charge, you could find yourself locked up and then hired out to a corporation bidding on inmate labor. The pipeline from prisons to profits in this country has deep roots.
The aftermath of slavery was in some ways worse than slavery itself. Unlike before, when someone who owned you, driving you too hard was counterproductive because you would lose your investment. Convict leasing was different. You could get them cheaper, and if you actually drove them to death, there was more where that came from.
In the 13th Amendment, which ends the institution of slavery, of course, there is a loophole. Convicts who have been convicted of a crime, they actually can be forced to work for free.
In Alabama in 1850, 99% of the people who were incarcerated were whites. In Alabama, by the 1880s, 85% of the people incarcerated were Black. So,
wow. I played this video before.
We could have a debate about how many of those Black people were actually innocent, or we could have a conversation about the use of the criminal justice system to target both the innocent and the guilty alike. That continues all the way to the present, where
Tony Busby, Deshaun Watson.
Even today, about just under 40% of the nation's prisoners are Black, and yet the African-American population is about 13%.
40% of the nation's prisoners are Black, but the national population is 13%, and you are the base of the Democratic Party. We don't talk about this. Why do we let the Democrats hold power and not talk about the things that affect us? And what are political, when Ice Cube talks about the plan for Black America, what he's talking about is what we would advocate for from Black politicians. If you want my vote as a Black politician, as a Democrat politician, then you must address these systemic issues in these demographics. I don't even care, bro. Let's not even talk about racism anymore. Let's just talk about the numbers. I don't want to talk about the white man who made it this way, because it don't fucking matter to me in 2024. All I want you to do, if you're a Democrat, is just address the reality of what it is to be Black in America. I don't care anymore, bro. It doesn't matter anymore who did it, but it does matter these realities and truths, and that we don't talk about them anymore. How can we vote for Democrats if Democrats don't even want to talk about our reality? The reality is we're 40% of the people incarcerated. The reality is we're the most unemployed people in America. How can we vote Democrat when nobody Democrat addresses these god-darn issues? We don't even address these issues.
they are snatching up bodies everywhere to fuel the system.
The idea in which more money can be made out of their incarceration is still very much part of our criminal justice system.
So they call it something else now.
It was here in Nashville, Tennessee, about a decade ago, when a particularly brutal murder went down that still has people talking about it to this day. It happened inside this prison. The victim, Estelle Richardson, a mother of two, doing time here after buying pain medication illegally on the streets. The morning she died, she had been found unresponsive in solitary confinement with a fractured skull and several broken ribs. According to the police report, the only people that could have laid a hand on her were the 4 prison guards ultimately charged with killing her: Andre Hendricks, William Wood, Jeremy Neese, and Joshua Shockman. Shockman, when not guarding prisoners, a mixed martial arts fighter, as seen in videos posted on YouTube. His nickname, the Warhammer.
If you don't buy a ticket to come see the Warhammer, you're going to get punished.
Shockman's not responded to several CCTV attempts to reach him. As a prison guard at the time, he was described as being overzealous in his dealings with inmates. But he and his fellow guards denied killing Richardson. Some say what may have helped their defense is that the crime happened at this particular prison, a private prison company contracted by the local county government, and not just any private prison company, but the biggest, richest, most powerful private corrections company in the United States, Corrections Corporation of America, headquartered right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Corrections Corporation of America, or CCA, operates, according to its website, more than 60 other private prisons across the United States, from federal detention centers housing undocumented Latino immigrants to state prisons with American inmates serving time mostly for nonviolent, drug-related crimes. In all, CCA houses 70,000 prison inmates nationwide. When CCA's prisoner in Nashville, Estelle Richardson, was murdered, CCA managed to get the murder charges against its guards dropped. How? Because the surveillance camera over Richardson's prison cell had inexplicably been turned off the day of her murder. Without visual proof of who killed her, CCA's guards walked free. Richardson's family protested, saying that CCA got away with murder, a murder that remains unsolved to this day. The history of American prisons in general is not a pleasant one. The United Nations has referred to U.S. prisons run by federal, state, and local government as some of the most dysfunctional, abusive, and torturous penal institutions known to man. In the early 1980s, private prisons began to emerge across the U.S. landscape, mainly to relieve overcrowded prison populations in traditional government-run facilities. Prison populations that began to explode as a result of America's war on drugs policy that was landing thousands of new drug offenders behind bars every day. For example, overcrowded and overwhelmed government-run prisons like in California have been ordered by courts to alleviate overcrowding by moving inmates to newly available prison space offered by private prison operations. In other words, California pays private for-profit corrections companies to manage some of its prison population. Essentially, private prisons are renting out storage space for prisoners. The more prisoners they take in, the more money or profits they make on their leases. Companies such as Nashville-based CCA have been profiting enormously. CCA's annual revenues today, for example, approach nearly $2 billion. So when CCTV set out to report about private prisons, we naturally felt it only logical to speak to someone here with the private prison industry leader, CCA. What can I do for you? Yes, I'm here with CCTV.
$2 billion a year. But that ain't what I want to, they really not. They really like hiding this shit. Hidden prison labor. I've been trying to find this story, boy. They be hiding these stories, boy, because it's not legal to do convict leasing. I didn't know that when I did the story. Yeah, I played that convict leasing video, but I didn't know it wasn't legal. But they still be doing it. So that makes that video I played so powerful. Whereas a black girl who worked at Burger King, while incarcerated, I'm gonna look that up. I just want to look something up, y'all. Can I look something up? Fuck is wrong with YouTube, man? It's all right. I will leave y'all alone. You know, it's still a blessing that we had this opportunity to use YouTube. It won't come up. That's okay. We're going to find your ass. We're going to find your ass. You're going to hide from us. You can't hide from us. We're going to find your ass. Alabama. December 20th, 2024. Alabama fast food workers had to work at fast food joints. Huh? I told you I was going, I shit you. I shit you. I told you I was going to find you. Alabama inmates forced to work at Burger King, McDonald's for next to nothing. Lawsuit. Let's see. Prisoners in the U.S. Hidden workforce linked to hundreds of popular food brands. Angola. Oh, we know about Angola. Unmarked trucks. That's what Boosie was. I know they got a prison farm in Angola. This ain't the one, though. This the one right here. They got a video. Let's see if we put this in YouTube. What we get. Because this is in the post. And then we're going to go. I want to go to this. Because this, I knew I seen it. This was just in the news the other day. This is December 20th. Let's go to the December 20th. That was January 2024. Man, this shit moving slow, baby. Hidden prison labor. Let's take a look at this one. Alabama profits off prisoners safe enough to work at McDonald's, deems them too dangerous for parole. Some cold shit. This is December 2024. Is this a video on the shit? Can I get some What you doing, ABC? What's going on with you? Trying to take off the mute? Oh, that ain't even. Okay, let's check this out. A storm was looming when the inmate serving 20 years for armed robbery was assigned to transport fellow prisoners to their jobs at private manufacturers supplying goods to companies like Home Depot and Wayfair. It didn't matter that Jake Jones once had escaped or that he had failed alcohol tests while in lockup. He was unsupervised and technically in charge. By the time Jones was driving back to work release center with 6 other incarcerated workers, it was pelting rain. Jones had a reputation for driving fast, and some of his passengers said he was racing along the county road, jamming to music in his earbuds. Suddenly, the transport van hit a dip and swerved on the wet pavement, slamming into a tree. 2 men died after being thrown out of the van, and Jones, who was critically hurt and slumped over the blaring horn, had to be cut out of the vehicle. As other men staggered into the storm, flagged down help, they wondered why the Alabama Department of Correction placed their lives in Jones' hands. They knew he had a propensity to drink, said Sean, who had survived the crash, and then put him behind the wheel of the van anyway. No state has a longer, more profit-driven history of contracting prisoners out to private companies than Alabama, with the sprawling labor system that dates back more than 150 years, including the brutal convict leasing era that replaced slavery. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. It has constructed a template for commercializing of mass incarceration. Best Western, Bama, Budweiser, and Burger King are among the more than 500 businesses to lease incarcerated workers from one of the most violent, overcrowded, and unruly prison systems in the U.S. In the past 5 years alone, the Associated Press found that as part of a 2-year investigation into prison labor, the cheap, reliable labor force has generated more than $250 million for the state since 2000. Through money garnished from prisoners' paychecks. Wow. Most jobs inside facilities where the state's inmates who are disproportionately black, we know that already, can be sentenced to hard labor and forced to work for free, doing everything from mopping floors to laundry, but more than 10,000 inmates have logged a combined 17 million work hours outside of Alabama's prisons walls since 2018. That's just 2018. That's not going back far. 17 million work hours outside Alabama's walls since 2018, y'all. That's what this is written in 2024. So we talking about 6 years, 17 million. This is slavery, modern day slavery. And this is just one state. For entities like city and county governments and businesses that range from major car part manufacturers and meat manufacturing distribution centers and major retailers like Walmart, the AP determined. So that's what I was looking for right there. This story is, and this is December 20th, 2024. This is December 20th, 2024. So you know this is right now. So we just did the story on convict leasing, how it's illegal. December 20th, 2024. Let's see what else I can find real quick. I'm gonna have to go make some lunch. Thank y'all for tuning in, man.
Can you believe that the state of Alabama forces prisoners to work at places like McDonald's and makes millions of dollars off their backs? Prisoners work for minimum wage, but the state deducts more than 40% of their salaries for costs like laundry and transportation. The worst part, if they refuse to work, they lose their rights, such as family visits or the chance for early parole. And the biggest shock, prisoners are led to believe that this work will improve their chances of early release, only to later discover that they're denied freedom because they're deemed a threat to society. The state of Alabama has made over $271 million from these practices, sparking widespread controversy in America. Do you agree with what's happening? If you want to learn more about this issue, don't forget to hit follow and like to support us. We'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. Can you believe that the state of Alabama forces prisoners to work at places like McDonald's and makes millions of dollars off their backs? Prisoners work for minimum wage, but the state deducts more than 40% of their salaries for costs like laundry and transportation. The worst part, if they refuse to work, they lose their rights, such as family visits or the chance for early parole.
That's the part where I think they're going to win that lawsuit, right? It's one thing to say that if you commit a crime, the Constitution says you got to work for free, but then when you take away rights, it's almost like you put me in a position where I don't have a choice. That means it's almost like forced slavery because you said you would take away rights. So I think that's why the prisoner's going to have a case, right? Because now you're saying if I don't work, you're going to remove things that I have a right to have, even as a prisoner.
And the biggest shock, prisoners are led to believe that this work will improve their chances of early release, only to later discover that they're denied freedom because they're deemed a threat to society.
So that's the other part also. So then you got to explain how you're allowed to have me in public working, but then when I go for parole, you say I'm not eligible for parole because I'm a threat to society. It's the same thing with Diddy. How is Diddy not eligible for a bail? But you gonna put me out in the world to go work. So that's why I believe the case is going.
The state of Alabama has made over $271 million from these practices.
$271 million. So that's some more illuminating facts on the topic right there. But yeah, man, it's been cool kicking it with y'all on this New Year's Day. I want to say Happy New Year. Thank you for the Cash App to my brother Ken and Red. All of y'all know the Cash App, $ Big D Rants. 2025, man, this is how we bringing it in the same fashion. You know, in the beginning of the podcast, we talked about some of the JCat shit going on, and it's a damn shame because that's what it's going to be for 2025 for certain individuals. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I don't think black people want a king or deserve a king. That's why you see Nipsey Hussle get murdered, because what I see is that there's more appetite for the BS. And people capitalize off of that. That's why you see Tony Busby doing what he's doing, because Tony Busby know what is the appetite of the black American. Well, the appetite is they want to see black men ate up. It's like the Gladiator. You know, we got Gladiator Part 2 out. Why would they bring out Gladiator Part 2 now? What is Gladiator? Let them eat cake. Gladiator was a circus to keep people distracted from the truth that the Roman Empire was falling. Like, it's not nothing to celebrate. But what you have now is the same type of thing. Like, we are that food. We get thrown to the lion. So everybody can look at Diddy and Jay-Z and you're distracted. You're distracted from the drones. We're not allowed to talk about the government shutdown. We're not allowed to talk about the drones. We're not allowed to talk about Ukraine. We're not allowed to talk about Netanyahu. We're not allowed to talk about Syria. Blood just moved in with Putin. Like, we can't talk about none of that shit. They want us talking about Diddy. The world is changing. I said to you, anybody, like, I'm listening, Kim, y'all remember when I talked to you about the 3 Bs? I hope you bought Bitcoin. I did. When I said Bitcoin passed 100,000, I said Brexit, I said BRICS. When I said this Bitcoin was 48,000, that's when I bought Bitcoin. And I told people, I said, what y'all gonna do when Trump wins and Bitcoin is past 100,000? And BRICS and these things are more solidified. Now They got more people part of bricks. The world is coming apart right in front of us, and they want you to focus on Diddy. Diddy didn't even do nothing. But the thing you need to ask, why 1,000 bottles of baby oil? Why would they talk about that and then give it to the black comedians? The same black comedians who told you to go out and put something in your body that wasn't, you know what I'm saying? And now I know people and you know people affected by that thing when all the black comedians said you put Hennessy in your body, you put cocaine in your body, and then come to find out that they were forced and paid. When Netflix and certain arenas wouldn't have let black comedians perform unless they said things that were positive to what they were trying to implement. None of the black comedians came out and apologized. None of the black comedians, they just got their money. All the black comedians lined up to go tell people to go do something because come to find out, Netflix said you can't do no specials unless you say this first. Because I was like, why all the black comedians got to do this joke before they do their special? Come to find out, Netflix wanted them to. Our appetite for destruction. That's our appetite. Think about it, the MO. Why would you think you could be successful? After you do Deshaun Watson with 60 accusations and 2 grand juries and you're found out to be a farce. Every woman you brought forward was a liar. Why would you feel so confident? This is a real question for us as a people. Why would you feel so confident to run the same play again? Why? Think about what we learned about the 13-year-old girl and what research you need to do about the Deshaun Watson case. Just as a professional, let's take Jay-Z out of it, just for your own reputation. If you lost the Deshaun Watson case, wouldn't you do a better job this time with validating the truth of the claims if you're really about the victim and the truth? Wouldn't you do a better job? Why would it take lies on the ABC interview to say, hey, I need to do a lie detector test? A man is already in prison. You about to get another man in prison. After losing the Deshaun Watson case, wouldn't you think as a professional, just for that lawyer, let's take, because black people don't know how to digest this on the internet. So black men want to point the finger, black women want, just as a professional, I'm a professional. So I'm looking at you as a professional, as a lawyer. After losing how you lost the Deshaun Watson case, I would expect you to do your due diligence on this case. And it was obvious to me by that ABC interview that you didn't. So why would I take anything you're saying as verbatim? Like, if I were a judge, I would have went the opposite way. I would have pressured Busby by saying, no, she got to show her face. She got to do this. She got to do that, because I don't believe you've done your homework. And that's based on your record, sir. I looked at your last case. I looked at how those witnesses flip-flop and you lied and they lied. So now I smell the same thing again. Yeah, she got to reveal her face and everything I got to come out, because I don't, sir, trust in your ability to put forth an honest case, because you haven't done so the last several times you've been in front of a judge. You keep losing, but it's not just that you losing, it's that the people that you represent lie. And for some reason, liars come to you. But the judge didn't do that. Going back to that good old boy network that exists down there. Because if I was a judge and impartial, that's what I would do. Because it seems like you represent liars, sir. There are victims out there. And you put up a hotline. Now you have 120 people. How much vetting, how many employees does he have at his office? How much vetting could he do of those 120 cases? He didn't vet this 13-year-old girl at all. We only know this because of the ABC video, and they allowed it. Jay-Z and them didn't put on the ABC video. They tried to do some R. Kelly. See, they running the same play as R. Kelly. They did the ABC video. All Jay-Z lawyer did is just point out the inconsistencies that ABC caught the girl in the line and start asking her questions. And then Jay-Z lawyer was like, this is unfucking believable. I got to file a case. It's not, and the judge was like, Jay-Z lawyer was wrong. I'm not wrong. I would not be representing my client, sir, if I saw this woman contradict herself on television and ABC catch her in a lie and me not file a brief on behalf of my client. I did not set up the interview. They did. ABC caught her in a lie that contradicts the information you have in front of you as a judge. So I'm a bad guy. I'm a fucking lawyer. I represent Jay-Z. What the fuck am I supposed to do when I find out the motherfucker who's accusing him is fucking lying? That makes no fucking sense. Everybody say, oh, the judge is mad at Jay-Z lawyer. What the fuck was he supposed to do? Can anybody intelligent tell me what the fuck am I supposed to do? Fuck that judge. I see an interview that I did not put together where the person accusing my client lied and get caught by the reporter lying. I'm supposed to just wash my fucking hands? No, I'm his fucking lawyer. I need to go tell the court, hey, she got caught in a lie by ABC. Not me, not you. She went to ABC on her own. ABC caught her in a lie. Matter of fact, 3 lies. I got them written down right here. Now, all 3 of these statements contradict what you have in front of your face, Judge. It is my job as Jay-Z's lawyer. It behooves me to come to you and tell you that she is lied. That's all Jay-Z lawyer did was his job. For all the people hating on Jay-Z, all Jay-Z lawyer did was his job. He didn't interview the girl. He didn't pay the girl. They tried to run a play by putting her on ABC. Jay-Z lawyer just did his job. She got caught in a lie that contradicts the statements in front of a judge. What do we do if we're going to court? I'm the lawyer. I file a briefing. Yeah, it was scathing because she's a liar, Judge. I don't represent her. I don't represent Me Too. I don't represent women. I represent Jay-Z. And I didn't ask her to lie. So yes, I went hard on her in my briefing because she lied. Why are you telling the public that this ain't gonna help Jay-Z? What did Jay-Z do wrong? This is why I say it's a country good old boy network that's going on that y'all shouldn't be, hoping Jay-Z gets a good fair. I don't think so. Because why would the judge say this ain't gonna help Jay-Z? All Jay-Z's lawyers did was his job. He was supposed to watch the ABC interview, watch her contradict her statements, and not bring it up. Can anybody tell me what was he supposed to do? He works for Jay-Z. He was supposed to watch her get caught in a lie by a lawyer and not do anything. Why was Jay-Z paying him? No, he did his job, bro. And he did a good job. That's exactly his job. No one told you to come out in public. You could have stayed quiet and fought the case. You came out to the ABC interview on your own volition and got caught in a lie by the reporter, not caught in a lie by me. You weren't on the stand. You did this all on your own. Only thing we could do to get it into court, to get it documented, to get it on record that she is lied, I got to file a briefing. That's the only way to get it as part of the case. So that judge is lying. When that judge says this is not good, that is bullshit. If this goes in front of a jury or a grand jury, fuck you. This matters that she lied and told these lies. And the only way to get it in front of a jury, to make sure the jury knows that she's been out here lying, is do what that lawyer did. He did a good job. Y'all have a good 2024. Have a safe 2024. Have a blessed 2025. I'll see y'all next year. I pray a covering over everybody watching that will watch, and pray a blessing for you and your family and what's to come. Many more blessings, many more moons. That's all these blessings in the name. Amen. Y'all have a blessed, super blessed 2024. Safe. And we're going to rock it out 2025. Blessed and covered. We're ending it like this. We're starting it like this. So it will be like this. We manifesting our blessings. Prayers go up. Blessings go down. We're manifesting the bright, brilliant colors that will be our life in 2025. We want brilliant blues. We want brilliant greens. So we manifesting those brilliant colors ourselves. We're not waiting for a color palette to be given to us. We're not waiting for an operating system from our lover, our mother, our significant other. We are creating our own beautiful, brilliant, vibrant schemes. And we are creating that in our minds today so that it resonates in the days in the future. We're not waiting. We're creating as men do. So, salute. Thank you for watching.